Welcome in, everybody, to the South Park Phone Destroyer Weekly Update. My name's Glanzer, and I'm coming at you from 10 years in the past. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome in. We're going to be going through the Team Wars games from last week. We're going to be going through the deck choices for this week, and also we're going to be going through the weekly update from the dev side of things. There's going to be a new card released, as well as a few new balance changes coming down the pipe. The pike? Coming down the pipe? Or the pike? What do you guys say? I think they both make sense. Like, coming down the pipe, like a pipe, you know, makes sense. Or coming down the pike, like a road, a turnpike, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Jersey Turnpike? You're coming down the pike. So I don't really know which one's which. But at some point, one was the right one, and then another person's like, nah, I'm going to say pipe. I'm going to say pike. Pike is a fish around here. Yeah, true. A pike. A pikey. A pike, yeah. That was the shortening of my fraternity's name, was Pike. Little baby. Yeah, right? I got a little left. It's a tiny bit there. It's a lot of fun, actually. We did great things for our community through philanthropy. All right, so we're going to get started, and we're going to look at the games from last week. Boom, 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 once they get pulled up. All right, so C for Cookie in a silver team. Actually, I've run up against some people on C for Cookie that were actually pretty damn good, with pretty good levels. So when I see C for Cookie, sometimes I'm like, uh-oh. Like, isn't, like, Culture Race or something like that from C for Cookie? There's some, like, mega whale that's on C for Cookie. Can't remember which one. Dougie lead, not bad. All right, this I don't understand. Why wouldn't it have hit him? Doesn't really matter because we end up still hitting him, but why wouldn't that have hit him? I don't really understand that. But the Robin, low level, not that big of a deal. Pretty bad arrow tower there, if you ask me. Wait, was that a... Yeah, okay, there's the Astro speed boost on the arrow tower. That's not actually terrible. It'd be better if it was the other tower. That one has a little bit more attack, I think. I don't hate this setup right here because Awesemo should get healed. He should have played the Shield Maiden by the Awesemo. Like, he should have played Shield Maiden right here. And then he would have killed my Awesemo before my deckhand dies. And then the deckhand heal wouldn't have happened. Lower levels here. But the level 4 Classy is going to be pretty good against the level 2 Shield Maiden. Boom. A Dirty Sanchez, exactly. Grow out just the stash. I did shave it. Whenever I shave it, I always shave it in like fucked up ways to see what it would look like. So this time I like started here, and I left like crazy mutton chops, and I also left the mustache. So then I could see like the mustache was pretty hilarious. I gotta tell you. Me with just a mustache, funniest fucking thing in the world. The mutton chops actually weren't bad though. Mutton chops went to about here. Wasn't that bad, actually. I was like, meh. Look at this Sparky boosting New Kid and the tower. So not a bad play there. I look 2 years younger, probably. Now we're just slow playing with the doggo. You can see how the range affects the doggo while they'll still attack him, even though he's far out of range. That's why I didn't really spend money on doggo. But if they fix some of his issues with like his ability kind of being bugged, where sometimes you'll hit it and he won't immediately run backwards. I get, like, you know, he won't interrupt an attack animation and go, you know, I get that. That's fine. I like the Robin here. I was actually using Robin on the tower a couple times. That actually worked pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and use that Fireball because I know it kills that low-level Shield Maiden. Barbrady was a big part of this week. I think one of the most important parts of this week was playing Barbrady correctly and getting that Barbrady value. Astro just wasn't good enough because Astro is just too slow to even hit a Dougie in time. Even if Astro one-shot the Dougie, it wouldn't be quick enough. Unless, I mean, you could do it like midway. Like you do with Dougie, or with dog poo, excuse me. Because if somebody puts a Dougie, like let's say a Dougie doggo, doggy, dog poo Dougie, a Dougie right here, and it comes, you know, down this line. If you put dog poo like right here, dog poo will attack him, you know, uses animation, and by the time Dougie gets about right here, dog poo will technically hit, right? So this week the staff, or not the staff, sorry, the tower cards in front of New Kid was probably the best start. It didn't really matter which one you did. Preferably would probably be the defense, the tower defense, or the castle defender, sorry. Now we use the Sparky to just get a little bit of a boost to the BHK, which ends up working okay. Now the Bar Brady is gonna take the bar and then some, and should do a huge amount of damage to the next one with his blast. So this will be good. Might even kill the BHK. Yeah, nicely done. That's a big part of the Bar Brady too, is getting that extra value. The freeze is gonna be enough probably to kill him. We'll see. No, he doesn't play the Psalm onto the doggo. The doggo survives. He would have survived with the deckhand ability too. That's interesting. Now's a good time to just wait. Oh, but since the Psalm survived, we're going to go ahead and play the Classy. Good damage out there. We're going to heal the Psalm. Psalm's not taking much damage, so that's a good... Oh, no, we missed it, and it actually hit Classy. He's going to play his Dougie, so we'll play our Dougie. The Robin is able to stop it. Well done. And the Psalm gets blasted backwards into good position, actually. So that worked out well for us. Psalm doesn't get killed by the Bar Brady. Well done. Well done. I'd like to see some ID, sir. Oh, yeah. My name's Tom. I'm Glanzer's cousin. And I'm like 15 years older. And, you know, he's got a bad case of syphilis. So I'm filling in for him. Oh shit. All right, Psalm versus Psalm, not a big deal. That was a mistake. I let his Bar Brady get on me. Whoops. And I let his deckhand heal. Whoops. That was fucking terrible. But our deckhand should do good enough to maybe kill him before he gets the bar and then the blast. Uh-oh. Is it going to be blast then bar or bar then blast? So it's going to be blast then bar, which is good for me because the Psalm actually is taking the bar. We go ahead and hit him with a little bit of extra damage with the Psalm and still take the bar. That is trust in your units right there. Robin Tweak on the Osmo right now. Wouldn't hate it. Kind of baiting the DSR here. Wouldn't hate the DSR on this. The BHK coming out, going to boost both of their attack. +3 at a time. Lower level BHK, very, very bad card if you ask me. But this might work out, just getting Bar Brady a little bit of a boost. And then right about the time when Bar Brady dies, you play out the next tank in front of your units. We're going to have to get that Fireball out here. I felt good with the Fireball. But I didn't feel like I missed it on the accounts that didn't have fire. Like, I got, like, right there. Like, that's fucking bonkers Fireball value right there. And people played Fireball value even in gold, like, all the time. Like, I'll point out every time it's good Fireball value, even though I don't have Fireball, right? And I thought that Fireball makes it so, like, one team could pick Kite and potentially like, kick your ass just because they stupidly picked Kite. Why didn't Deckhand right there heal Osmo instead of New Kid? Let's check. Which part? He probably got knocked back. Yeah, he's just closer. New Kid is just closer. He technically dies here. He doesn't technically die up here. He technically dies back here. So New Kid is just closer than Osmo. Based, you know, just geometry. But yeah, he doesn't die. Like, the blast technically doesn't hit him until he hits the ground. That's something that we know with knockback. If you have like a hanky hitting a PC principal, if you push the hanky and that will kill him, hanky will still in air, like, finish his animation, attack PC principal, and then when he hits the ground, he'll die. So the attack for anything that knocks you back doesn't actually like hit until you hit the ground. question though. Glenn's looks like the nerdy guy in an early 2000s movie that gets the girl in the end. But yeah, like the like the nerdy girl who's actually like fucking hot as shit, and all she has to do is take her glasses off and put her hair in a fucking like put her hair out of the ponytail or something like that. Like how many movies like that were there in the 90s or early 2000s? She's All That. That's the one with Freddie Prinze Jr., right? That girl was fucking. If you didn't know that girl was hot already, like, she was clearly hot. She was hot even before they did the makeover. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, take your hair out, shake it around, get rid of the glasses, and then all of a sudden you're super hot. All of them, that's how many, yeah. The majority of them, for sure. I should have done that Robin tweak there. It would have been pretty good. But the problem is that his attack is just kind of shit. Like it's what, 60 or something like that? It's just not, it's not very good. So you're not really going to take a bar. Even versus a level 14 new kid, you're probably not going to take a bar versus that. Could have been a good fireball there for him, but I felt the Psalm was going to do just fine. And we finish it up with the good old Dougie. Get it, 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 get it. Oh my god, I love that shit. Super Fart is the greatest card of all time. I have the most fun in Team Wars when Super Fart's a card. What's up, Rusty? Welcome in, everybody. Who came in with Rusty? Welcome in. Rachel Lee Cook. Exactly. Rachel Lee cooking since birth. So the assassin on the bottom side of the tank is kind of a classic Team Wars play. The thing about Osimo is that he could actually use his Osimo here and maybe stop me. I'm not sure. He would have had to have played another card. But I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. He didn't even play. So he says, oops. So maybe his wife just had maybe she's in labor or something. I don't know. I try not to, like, judge people. See, it's good fireball. Fireball value here would be insane. But instead, we're just going to heal up this bish. Bloop. Oh, it's just a brutal play. Brutal play this week. So we're going to go ahead and drop a unit that probably should have been the DSR target. We get that freeze out there, which helps us out immensely. Shield Maiden not taking the damage. And it looks like the Psalm coming doubled again, but the BHK got healed by... Must have been Deckhand. His Deckhand healed his BHK because BHK had gotten hit by the Psalm already. But that plus 48 on the Robin. Robin does not get hit by New Kid. I felt we had an advantage here, so I went ahead and played the Dougie. He super farted my Dougie. And I'm just laughing. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time because he couldn't even play anything. And then the Dougie killed the Deckhand afterwards. All right. We got another one. Rusty, what's up, buddy? Welcome in. How was your stream? All right, we got a fellow Buckethead. Welcome in. This is like a Christmas Buckethead. Christmas head. So the tower in front of New Kid. I don't know how all my accounts have level 5 tower. Like, did we just have a fuck ton of tower events? Probably. But this behind or in front of New Kid like this is probably the best play of the like you can do this week. I maybe shouldn't have played the Bar Brady here and just let him hit the tower, but the tower has so much damage that I felt like we could get away with it. Deckhand was a good card on any Fireball week because of what just happened there. Same for Aerostorm. If there's anything that survives the Fireball or the Aerostorm, then you know, you can just get it healed back with the Deckhand. So it's kind of like a counter move. Like just knowing that it could be an option makes you kind of the Deckhand being out there. It's kind of like playing Inuit into a push, like just so that they think twice about the Satan. Most of the time, it's still probably worth it to kill the push and, you know, the Satan dies. But, oh yeah, here we go, baby. Here we go. 2 for 2! 2 for 2! All right, let's go. Fogo no Kenny, pretty decent team. One of those teams that's usually going to have a pretty decent deck and pretty decent levels at least. 7,700, pretty good rank. You never know. It could be a D ranker. But we get to lead with the tower again. The tower versus the Bar Brady. This is pretty good for me, honestly. I could just sit there and wait and not do anything. But I wanted to get the defense in here a little bit. Not much we can do here. The deckhand's going to heal the Bar Brady. We can't really prevent that, and we didn't want the deckhand to just hit the tower over and over again. So we are in good shape here. I think that's a wasted Robin, actually, because Bar Brady's not going to do anything. Even if he would have pushed through that tower, he's not going to get to New Kid. But, no, he was not close enough. Very close, though. Very close. We're going to go ahead and use the tweak on the Belf to keep her alive. Plus 900. People sleep on that how much health that is. Can we keep the Belf alive? No, she's going to get blown up by that Classy. But we have our Classy on defense now. This is looking pretty good. Robin behind the push. Like, don't sleep on that. That's almost like 100 per hit. So that works wonders. He also doesn't get hit by New Kid. So if he's not dealt with, here's the perfectly timed super fart. All right, see that? Clinic, boys. You see that? You see what happened there? He's still gonna take the bar, but I didn't want to deal with it. But if you look, if you super fart at just the right time, right when Dougie's about to hit, so right there, Dougie's about to hit. So Dougie lost his attack, or his speed boost. Dougie just lost his speed boost, and now he's about to hit, but super fart is actually one of the few things that does interrupt the attack animation. So he gets knocked back, and then he doesn't charge back towards New Kid. And I already have the bar lead, so I'm thinking, okay, I don't really need to deal with this Dougie, because one, I didn't have it, I couldn't deal with it anyway, but I was like, this Classy is in fine shape, so we're gonna kick some ass here. So the Classy comes through, and even through the DSR, just absolutely obliterates the enemy bar. And the super fart, in my opinion, it's used for Dougie or to shit on your enemy at the end. It's just not a good card to try to like push away the units. It just doesn't do enough damage. Most likely your team didn't really upgrade it either. And depending on how the structure of the units are, if your units are in the way, their units are in their way, when you knock them back, or if they just get knocked back into the wall here because of the angle, if they get knocked back, they might not move at all. So you might, with the intention of like, you know, knocking them back and resetting to get energy, and you might end up getting into a situation where you can't at all use any energy because you just wasted 2 on a super fart that didn't actually give you any time. So the Dougie, I really thought the Dougie would come through and still get a hit, but I wasn't too worried. It kind of made him play the deckhand poorly, in my opinion, so ended up working out for us. We're going to go ahead and do the deckhand in the mid side here just to try to deal with the Classy. We're going to try to get this Sam out if we can. No, he's going to get stunned and taken care of. We almost shouldn't have done damage to the Classy there. We're going to go ahead and super fart just to deal with him. The Belf to do a little bit extra damage if he didn't get killed, because I knew that bottom side was in pretty good shape with that Shield Main. Shield Main is just so good, man. 3 energy for what he puts on the table. Whoa. Whoa. Or she, I suppose. Shouldn't misgender that bitch. All right, right here, stand start wouldn't be terrible, but I don't. You want to kind of use stand in a situation where it's actually going to help. So this is good. He just used 5 energy. So he played that right, but he mistimed it. So it is a tiny little window where this actually works. So he tries, but he does it a little late. In this battlefield, you kind of have to do it right. You'd have to do it right here, right when he gets onto this shield thing, because he's just a little late, and my guy already just started the animation enough where it doesn't get reset. That's why that combo is iffy. Like, you can't really trust that to happen correctly. You can't really trust that because it's not going to always work. So the BHK versus BHK here, kind of dangerous. He could play, you know, one of his range behind that, but there really isn't much other option for range cards. There's Belf, which I don't think he would play it in that situation, because then my push would come right into his Belf and kill him probably. And he probably wasn't going to play Kite or whatever in that situation. Well, no, it was Kite versus BHK, wasn't it? So yeah, it felt pretty good to play the BHK there. So this is where, in the game, if you get an early Dougie lead, you could potentially defend with the tower. But because of that little space between when the tower dies and the defender spawns, BHK can actually switch and attack New Kid. The Robin, very wasted there, poor guy. And a big hit into the next bar, pretty much halfway through the next bar. Shield Maiden is just incredibly broken. We go ahead and let him tap that. The Classy comes out. We're going to go ahead and put the defender up top on a very offensive situation. Can we survive with the Sam? No, the Classy doing her job well. Dwarf on the bottom side as soon as they play energy. Wait for him to play energy, and now you play the Dougie. Oh, now you play the Dougie with the Super Fart out there. And now we play Super Fart. Rude. Rude. Banned for life. Hopefully it'll be a good series, but in my head, when I look at that series on paper, Warriors win in 4. Or 5 would be nice. We like that. We like that Oracle. Or not Oracle. We like that Chase Center. They make like $10 million a game. It's ridiculous. They have one extra playoff game in a game 5. They pay a player's salary the next year. They play like Otto Porter Jr.'s salary or one of the bench players' salary. All right, so the Belf against the Kite. Nothing to really worry about here, although I'm a little low on energy now. So we're going to play the Classy on the top side. But the Classy doesn't pull the Bar Brady, so here we are at a little bit of a disadvantage here. The Bar Brady will get the bar and blast into the new one, but the Fireball doesn't kill the Belf. That is a little known thing to think about, is that if the Belf gets one hit off, gets one stack off, Fireball doesn't kill her at equal level. That could have been just a low-level Fireball as well. Could have been a 4 or 5 and just doesn't kill her naturally. But very big deal. If you use a card like Fireball and it doesn't kill its target, it's basically like wasting that energy, right? Because here's Belf with 100 health just blasting away. Now we're going to go ahead and use the Robin to heal the Osimo. I don't hate that just because we have, a plus 276 Classy out there. So if we just kind of get some extra damage out there, that's going to guarantee the next bar. And then obviously you can't even push Bar Brady back enough with Fart. Like if Bar Brady is on the New Kid and you use Fart and he goes back as far as he can, he's still within the blast range of his damage. So like, what's the point? What's the point? You're requesting Scuzzle buff? Yeah, we'll talk about him a little bit later. Classy is that bitch. She's good, yeah. I have a level 5 tower I've only been playing since September. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a brand new card, so you probably have actually an advantage because you might have less cards. You might not have all the cards to begin with, so you get tower more often. I don't know. It doesn't take long to get all the cards. One copy of all of them. So into the Sam. Classy's not terrible. You kind of hate it because if he uses the ability and it, gets her to that threshold and she doesn't get any value from her stun, but looks like we're going to be able to here. But the Classy isn't hitting the Sam. I should have played the deckhand up a little higher and then just taken the Sam out. This was my mistake here for sure. The Sam should have been taken out. I mean, he did get taken out. We got lucky there, though, because the Classy got the hit there. That really shouldn't have happened. But that's a BHK that looks like he got a boost from the Robin. That looks like a high health BHK. But the Sam looks like he did a full blast to him. So that does not help. And the Sam's going to be able to get his blast off. Yes, he does. Just barely. Oh, and even hits the defender right when he spawns. Was that deckhand? What was that? Yeah, it hits the deckhand right when he spawns. And that is just game over. Nothing to stop him here. We were at 10 energy, so we just played the deckhand. We got the Dwarf Engineer if we need it. Dwarf Engineer as soon as the bar gets taken. Because the defender's going to be there because he's going to get healed by the deckhand. No, he's not going to get healed by the deckhand. Incredible. All right, I guess he did get healed at the end, but Robin healed him even more. All right, now we got Crimson Killa. What's up, Jimmy? Jimmy, Season 6 of Fall Guys is starting soon. We're going to be playing more. You better be ready. You better be practicing. Although I kind of feel like a dumbass because it's going to be free to play next season, and I fucking bought you it this season. What a knobhead. But you'll get you'll get extra currency. Yeah, Robin Tweak on the tower right here actually might be really good. Do it. Do it. Robin Tweak on the tower. Oh, see, he kind of did that with the deckhand. Meh, I don't hate it. Yeah, well, it'll probably be Tuesday nights after South Park. For sure, that'll kind of be like a scheduled one. You're 98, 100 for level 5 classy. Yeah, dude. Level 4, dude. That's one of the few cards where like that level 4 to 5 epic jump is like super impactful for whatever reason. Just like the amount of health that she has. The tower double shotting the BHK there, huge swing for me, huge turnaround. So we put the classy out because we just want to stop the Sam from getting value. So we're slow playing here. The fireball comes out though, which is very, very good for him. But can we keep the Sam alive a little bit longer? No, the level 5 Shield Maiden comes out, but the Sam does not get his ability out. We're going to put the BHK out. Well done here. See, this is what I was talking about, where you could play the Belf and get the BHK, but he misplayed it. Ends up attacking the tower defender. We're going to go ahead and heal this Barbrady. This would be good, mostly just because the BHK is behind me. Now, honestly, that's a bad fireball target, but we know that he just played his fireball, so he's not going to have that fireball cycled around. The deckhand comes in perfectly to not get stunned by the classy, just out of range when it hit. This is going to be an easy bar here. The Barbrady is going to take another one, and nobody dies to the New Kid Blast. There's that extra level 7 advantage. One of the few advantages you get from level 7s in Team Wars is that they have a better likelihood to survive the New Kid. And then obviously the mirror matchups. You know, if you have Poseidon versus Poseidon and they're attacking each other. The Fireball versus the Dougie, I just don't think is very good. It's much better to use it against anything else, because the problem is that you can deal with Dougie with other stuff that then builds a counter push. So that's much better. Like dealing with Dougie with Shield Maiden and Sam, even though it's a 4-for-7 trade, you just built up a push that you probably would have built up anyway, right? So you don't really have to worry about what happens after that. Whereas if you play 5 energy onto a 4 energy Dougie, you might have just lost right there. So right here, I think Barbrady is gonna hit New Kid. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I think the AoE of him will tag New Kid. So right when he's about to die, I put her out to push her further. So we'll try here. So if he's here, so if the blast would have been here, the blast would have been here. Does he move that far? Does he move? Do I move him that far? Yeah, I think it would have hit him. I think I protected New Kid there. Good play. Good play. What's up, Snowy Fox? That's your teammate? Oh, I feel bad then. So this right here is one of the reasons why I think Robin Tweak combos the best with Shield Maiden of any other card in the game. Just simply because she can shield herself from the damage while Robin Tweak's ability is happening. So if Shield Maiden had almost no health right now, it's a dumb play to play the Robin, because Robin might be too slow. Robin might not be able to get his ability off before that last bit of damage comes out. You know, it's very possible. BHK hits with the Osimo having a boost, you know, the damage is going to be a little higher than I expect. But because of the shield, she can shield right when the Robin comes out, and you don't really have to worry about that damage anymore, because it's just like the maximum amount of value that you can get. So the Sam comes out with the value. Great work there. Great work there. We should be able to take out his Sam with our Sam. No, our Sam does connect. That was close. Our Sam was about to say fuck off. Now he's going to stun us here, which is going to be pretty good, but we're going to stun him right after. Actually, we're going to save the Osimo stun. Yeah. Put the Dougie in. No, I probably would have done Dougie, and then you could have frozen whatever he puts out to try to stop the Dougie. But this works too, because now there's quite literally no way for him to hit the BHK, no way for him to stop me, and now the BHK is going to come through and take the bar there. So that was well played. But he does have, now he's got a pretty good counter push, right? My BHK dies. We get the tower back there, though, so that's important. We do enough damage to the classy so her stun doesn't impact anything, so that's good. The Barbrady on the bottom side here is actually pretty good, but we'll just get the classy out in front of him. Might be close enough to damage him, but we did push him back a little bit there. Would be interesting. If we use Super Fire, like right before he died, it might have helped. But we could have played the We could have played the Shield Maiden there and pushed him to the bottom right and maybe got him out of New Kid range. But once again, we're going to just go ahead and use the Robin. No reason to shield it here because I just knew there wasn't going to be enough damage. Now we can shield this. We put the Dougie out. There's nothing to stop him. And we lead with the Fart Train. Well, he's a good-natured soul. Good for him. We got Madness from Apologize, which is a team that sometimes can catch you off guard. 7,500 means you can't sleep on them. They're at least decent players. If you get a 6,000, you're probably going to win. If you get a 7,500, if you get a 5,000, could be an alt account. Could get your ass kicked. But could also be a shitter. So he leads Belf into Awesome. So Belf is just a bad start. I mean, obviously, maybe he had just a really shit hand otherwise. But, you know, he just gave up his Belf here, which, you know, maybe not the worst thing ever. Because obviously Belf isn't like a super impactful part of this week. But, I mean, that's like, I'm 3 energy up now, right? And the only value he got from that was a little bit of Awesemo health, which doesn't really bother me any because I can use Robin Tweak if I really need to. Or the deckhand can come in. So we're slow playing here. We want to make sure that the tower starts hitting Awesemo. That's our main thing here. The tower gets hit by the Belf. This is going to be interesting here. We're going to go ahead and fireball this Classy so that she doesn't get very much value. It's important to use the fireball either to make the stun happen or right after the stun happens. Either or. That was good. The Belf survives even though he put a Classy right on me. And that's a situation where the fireball there, in retrospect, like in like the you know, the push and pull and the rock, paper, scissors of the game, the fireball there probably wasn't good. But the moment he played the Shield Maiden, it made it valuable because I'm taking probably 2.5 value away from this Shield Maiden because now she's not going to be able to survive long enough to get her shield to be very much value. She could have maybe Robin tweaked the Shield Maiden there and it would have been pretty good. But at that point, I already had damage on her, so, you know, probably wouldn't have happened. So the Classy is good on defense mostly. This is kind of the best situation for the Classy. Robin Tweak on the Classy here is actually interesting because if you boost Classy's health, it actually does increase the time that she would have the stun and it would re-trigger it. It removes the attack boost, but it ends up working out pretty well. So if this hits Classy or Sam, I don't really care. Ends up going on Sam, which is just fine because he was hitting New Kid as well. So that's with Robin. You want to play him in a way where you don't really care. Like with Hook Hand, play him in a way where you don't really care. If it hits New Kid, it hits New Kid. You know, make it impactful either way. Yeah, that he's got like a baby account that we use to like feed hamsters and towers and lightning bolts and all that kind of shit. And yeah, he got a win with his shit level. I felt that way. I mean, I feel that way on the Adventure Lock when I'm running out level 3 Dwarf Engineer Dougie at him, and then I play level 6 Inkin. It's like, what the guy's probably thinking like, what the fuck's going on here? But sometimes, like, you know, they'll have level 5 epics and stuff, but I'll still body them because, you know, I'm just a better player if they're a silver player, most likely. But yeah, that's stuff with it. The most fun I think I have during Team Wars is either catch it, because I always play late Sunday because it just works the best with my schedule. And my two favorite parts of Team Wars are beating someone who's clearly trying to hide, like, you know, someone from a good team who's hiding, you know, Sunday night. Maybe they already have 2 losses. There has been one time where I think it was a Chef's Elite, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was Kimmy or something like. I think it was Kimmy something. And I beat this person, and shortly after, they had like a 24 land for their team, and I basically caused that person to get a 24, and as a result, Dire Tide beat Chef's Elite that week. So that was pretty sick. So taking somebody who probably should have played earlier and kind of like defending Sunday night, that's kind of one of the that's like my favorite part. But then my second favorite part is on Moody, if I beat someone who should have beaten me. Like, Moody doesn't have bad levels. Like, this week, I don't think I had anything that was necessarily under-leveled. I didn't have my Dwarf Engineer leveled because my Dwarf Engineer was level 1. And, yeah, so Super Fart plus the hit of the Psalm was enough to damage him and kill him. But the Engineer was level 1, and so I didn't upgrade him at all because I just don't have very much fantasy mats on that account. And I don't need Dougie to win a match, right? But otherwise, you know, she had level 5 epics, level 6 commons, you know, level 6 rares. He never has really an advantage. So this is an example. A Prodigy from SP Elite should probably beat my 4th alt account, right? Right? Shieldmane Wendy's your first level 4 legendary. Dude, that's awesome. That's a great one to have for sure. Snow Fox, welcome in, by the way. Is it your first time catching a stream, buddy? I know that we interact on like Reddit and Instagram and stuff like that. Good to have you in the stream finally, man. So here's an example, like, you know, level 5 epics. This guy's got everything he needs. Ooh, interesting. So we change our mind on the Robin because he hits the DSR. Is Shieldmane going to get the shield before she dies? Oh, nice, she does. A little bit of extra damage here. I think our Barbrady did get close enough, so should be value here. There we go, there we go. Boom. All right, there we go. Oh, you came with Rusty. Nice. Matt, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I was a little late getting my, you know, on days when we don't have work. Like, part of my, look at this. Look at this play. Look at this play. LOL. That's a little ballsy to do in 2 minutes, bro. That's a little ballsy to do with 2 minutes left in the game, bro. Holy shit. That is ballsy. So see, that's what I was talking about. This is the perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. Look at the deckhand. Look at him attacking New Kid. Look at him start his animation before he's knocked back. Still finishes the animation. The same thing would have happened even if deckhand would have died. That animation would have still happened. And then look at this deckhand. New Kid can't stop me. New Kid can't stop me. And then, oh, yeah, sure, I'll go heal the tank. I'll go heal the tank that's defending. I mean, that is just a beautiful play. I didn't even have to use that fireball, honestly. But that's a 6-for-5 play. Perfectly fine. But I don't think I even had to. I don't think I had to. What up, Happy Dude? You were in Rusty? Well, everybody knows that. And the Belf. So the Belf has a really high aggro range. So even if Belf gets knocked off target, she will walk back into range and continue to attack the same target. That's actually good in some cases. As you can see there, that was actually beneficial for me. It's actually bad in other cases where you can have, like, let's say Elf King Bradley on the Belf. She's sitting at midline, a little bit behind midline, hitting New Kid. Elf King Bradley dies. Her aggro range lowers, so instead of, or her range lowers, but it's still within her aggro range. So instead of retargeting to whatever's next to her, which some people will do, like Mecha will do that, she will walk forward and continue to attack the New Kid. Can be good sometimes, you know, it could win you the bar if you understand when it's going to happen, but sometimes that can hurt you. Like Elf King Bradley, to an extent, can hurt you because, you know, you could have a unit at midline that normally would have like attacked the assassin that I was going to put or something like that, but now he's attacking New Kid, so I can just play a unit and just blast him because it's not really that big of a deal, right? So it's kind of, sorry, I have a itch. I have like a stray nose hair or something like that that's just poking me. So yeah, it can be detrimental, and the same thing can happen with Garrison. Like if you use this happened in a Team Wars a couple weeks ago, I think, where Garrison. It might have been last week, actually. Garrison was an option, and I think it was Maxi or something. There's some big tank, and they used that against it. But on the bottom side, I had an assassin coming, and so the assassin was coming down on the mid side. They were attacking the Maxi on the top side, and so when he laid a unit out to assassin step I think he played scout to assassin step whatever it was. The scout just. Once he played him, he just fucked off and he went and attacked the Maxi. And so my deckhand or whatever it was able to just attack New Kid and I think win that match, but that's just a fun one. Because I had somebody who the garrison was a real big detriment to him, because if he would have actually just gone through with the push like normal, he probably would have beat me. He had a tank in front of a fighter in front of a range that were at my new kid, and I only had one tank to defend, and it wasn't going to be enough, right? He had enough damage to eat through it quick enough where I wasn't going to build enough energy to play something else. But what he did was he played garrison, which brought everybody to attack that instead of, he had people on the top that were going to start attacking new kid. So they all started attacking Maxi, and at that same time I was able to get enough energy to play DSR. So I played DSR, and it knocks them all back, and then they're coming back into me, so I'm damaging them this whole time that they're walking back to me, and I'm body blocking away from it, and starting to put out 2 and 3 cost units, and they end up not even killing the target of the garrison, and all of their units died as a result because they were all rushing through my front line to get to my back line, and just went through the gauntlet. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Raise your hand if you care. Raise your hand if you care. But all right, let's look at next week's deck, right? All right. The deck for this week. So we have a repeat week, actually. I will post in the description of this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, I'll post a link to the Team Wars video of this week. So the best way to know what cards to choose is actually to use them against the other decks, right? So practice and stuff like that. But that just doesn't really work very well at friendly levels, which is the only way we can test it right now, right? So this is a previous deck that we used. It was the end of last year, Christmas time, the week of December 27th. So I'll have that video, and I'll have that posted in the link below, or in the description below, so that you guys can take a look at that and kind of see, you can see what teams picked what, how those teams performed that week, stuff like that. So let's get started. And I think you guys might remember this week. This is one of the weeks where it was a choice between Satan and Man-Bear Pig, which can be impactful. And then the Critters was obviously Critters versus Pope. I think we saw that be pretty impactful as well. So first off, the Pigeons versus the Heidi. Pigeons, I would say, are only very good if Frontier Bradley is an option, because you can get some crazy value there. Maybe City Walk guy with the Pigeons, but right now Labard is an option. Labard is going to be the choice over Tupperware, most likely. Tupperware is just not the greatest card, and not many people, like, Tupperware doesn't get frozen or slowed by the lava. He doesn't get stunned. He doesn't die to Inuit. He can't get removed or mind controlled. I don't think that's worth it, right? Even if you played Tupperware against Inuit probably kills Tupperware before Tupperware kills him. So it doesn't really work out that well. So for sure, I would say the Heidi this week. The 2-cost fighter, pretty good. Can step one of the assassins while they're coming and deal with them if you don't have one of your assassins, or if maybe you only have Inuit and you don't want to use Inuit at that point. So it can be pretty good. I don't hate the Heidi ever. Like, Heidi 2-cost fighter, 700 some attack or health for 2-cost, just good in Team Wars. Just good. Always a good choice. Professor Chaos versus Choir Boy. I'd say you got to go Professor Chaos, just simply because his stun can be so impactful. You can stun and hit good damage against the Terrence and Phillip. That card alone also counters the Pigeons. You could stun, maybe Diabetes before he gets his ability off again. You could maybe stun and kill, an Ice Sniper Wendy that maybe took some extra damage from something else. A lot of different options there. But I think the stun from the Chaos has proven time and time again to be very impactful and definitely worth it. If you're going to make a Pope deck, you're probably going to go Choir Boy, but I just don't think the deck is really feasible for that when you have cards like Ice Sniper Wendy in this slot. There's just too many cards that could be pulled by the Pope. You're never going to get it working. No, they pay extra for that. Why do they want to get rid of it? That's the fucking that's the platinum package, bro. Oh shit. All right, Pope versus Critters. What's up, Tattooed?
This fucking dummy.
So we have the Critters versus the Pope. Critters is going to be the choice. Critters pairs actually kind of well with a few cards. Could use it with the Pigeon, sure. Not terrible to pull the Heidi, you know, if she's half health and about to die, pull her, get decent health. The Terrence and Phillip pairs with him fairly well. I would just say just be careful that you don't use it when Satan or Manbear Pig is out. I know a lot of people who they see a charge and they just use it, even if it's not a good time to use it. So Critters this week could be important. I think it's important to know like when to use him and when not to, right? Like if you have a big gay owl that's at, you know, hitting new kid and he's at about half health and he like maybe get one more hit off, use it, because that extra health on the critter is going to be more important than that one hit that the big gay owl might get off, right? So like critter takes some practice getting to understand like when to sacrifice your unit and when to get the value, because if you do it wrong and there's not enough HP in front of him, then you know their push gets to your critter and critter dies. Like you know he attacks pretty slow, he can't really defend himself very well. Unless he gets boosted and then starts one-shotting units, it can be like you could lose a game easily if you use critter wrong, right? It's one of the few cards where you can truly screw yourself over by misusing the ability. So, iffy card to choose, but definitely better than Pope, because Pope can make you could make easier mistakes this week with Pope, I think, because like the odds that you're gonna play Pope and then cycle into Terrence and Phillip. I guess if you went Pope, you'd probably go Diabetes. But, I mean, there's going to be Santa, Osimo. Probably what you're going to pull every time is Santa, Osimo. That slot is probably always what you're going to pull. And then Labard maybe would be hard to not pull that. But it's close. Like it's really close to being able to build the deck. Because typically you want two cards that you don't want to pull. And just like play around those cards. Like for my Pope Manbear my Pope Manbear Pig deck, it's Sizzler and Medusa. I play Sizzler and Medusa, and then I can Pope, and I know it's going to be Manbear Pig. And it's not hard to keep those. You know, a lot of the times you can just make sure that they're out on the field when you play the Pope. So it's not that hard. This week you're super close. But like the problem is, all the 2-cost cards that you'd have to pick are not the better pick. Like you'd probably be forced to play the Tupperware, because I think Pope might not be able to pull the Tupperware. I'm not sure. If Pope can pull Tupperware, then you can't play the Pope deck, because you're gonna have one extra card. You're gonna have this slot, and this slot, and then I guess this slot too, because you can pull in the 3-cost. So there's always gonna be, you're always gonna pull Big Gay Owl or this. You're never gonna pull this slot. So you're never gonna get the Manbear Pig out there. So Manbear Pig's a wasted card. Wasted caps into him. Whereas the Satan, I mean, if they get a Pope off, I could probably Satan the push and just defend it. Like, Manbear Pig's not a hugely worrisome card, especially when Unholy Combustion's out there. I would say Unholy Combustion, maybe wait for the Critters. You know, maybe you have to Unholy the Critters, but most likely if they do get a Pope off and they do get the Manbear Pig, it could just get unholied. So it's a waste of time. So Critters is definitely the choice. Ice Sniper definitely the choice. Ice Sniper's a great card. Freeze Ray's the choice. Lava's bad. Like a few times ever I've seen Lava be good, but most of the time when Lava does well and defends, you just get counter pushed after that because you're down energy. And a lot of the times that slow actually helps because it just slow plays it onto our side again eventually. Hanky versus Inuit. The Inuit again is another reason why the Manbear Pig probably isn't a good idea. Inuit versus Satan actually pretty good as well. Inuit versus Osimo, like pretty much half healths him before he even kills him, so he could potentially survive that. Obviously you gotta be careful for the Inuit to get killed by the lava and or the pigeons and, you know, not get a lot of value. But it's pretty easy to probably play him on your side where the enemy won't be able to impact what happens, and Labard might be able to kill him and take value away, but it'll still kill the Labard, so it's a 4 for 3 value. So if there's nothing else, don't play 2 assassins at once this week for the Labard, I would say. Don't play Terrence and Phillip and an assassin either. Keep that value away from the Labard, and that'll be an important part of this week. I think Satan's the choice, honestly. Just that last card in case they get a good combo off. Terrence and Phillip could be a good combo. You might not have the removal because of the Youth Pastor, so you just put the Satan out there for the health and dealing with most of the units. There's no heal or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about the damage from the Satan getting removed. So if there's units that don't die to the Satan, it's not that big of a deal. I like the Satan this week. Man-Bear Pig doesn't make sense to me at all. Labard's the choice just to punish anybody who does go pigeons or who does play, if they play Choir Boy up top and Inuit on the bottom, you can play the Labard pretty safely there. Or Hanky, potentially. Also, the Labard could burst damage the Captain Diabetes before he gets his ability off, so that could be useful. Youth Pastor versus Dark Mage Craig. Let's do that one last. Unholy, you're gonna probably have to do Unholy. There's not really anything that makes sense to Mind Control. Maybe Mind Control and Inuit for good value, but that's kind of sketchy. It's very easy to counter that Mind Control. So I don't think the Mind Control's gonna be it this week. Unholy for the potential Man-Bear Pig, or more likely the Satan Snipe, or more likely remove one of these cards on defense so that your push can get to the new kid. Be careful though that you don't remove one side of Terrence and Phillip. That would be bad. Unholy Combustion. Yeah, definitely the choice. You just got to be wary that you actually have to upgrade it now. So remember, it has to probably be at least level 5. Level 5 doesn't kill Man-Bear Pig. Keep that in mind. Level 6 will. And then Osimo versus Santa. Santa would allow there to be double critters. Is that it? Double Ice Sniper, I guess. Would pair with the Diabetes, I guess. I don't really see the benefit there. I would say the Osimo is probably your choice and use the freeze to your advantage as much as you can. If you have something like Inuit hitting your new kid, that freeze can actually be, or not hitting your new kid, but hitting your tank. That freeze can actually, be the difference between the battle. Maybe you freeze the Terrence and Phillip as well. AoE damage from him comes out. You freeze plus the damage reduction from him. Could work. I would say the Osimo is probably better. I feel like more people would have picked the Osimo that week. And then I think the Diabetes is actually the choice here. It's just too good at that 2-cost level. Especially you could go Hanky and the Diabetes, and Hanky Diabetes together, you can get if you slam the fucking button and Diabetes has the Hanky ability for the entirety of the charge bar. Which means Hanky doesn't trigger Hanky triggers, you use the ability and then that next ability. If you do it, it'll stack on top of the stack. So you'll get double stack, triple stack, quadruple stack. I guess it's never triple, but it'll be double and then quadruple, then fucktuple. So it can be incredibly dangerous, and it's just a 5-cost combo. You put Diabetes up in the corner, you put Hanky on the bottom side. It's a great lead play. Diabetes can get up to 500 attack before he gets to half court. It can be so incredible. That's worth it. And then that 2-cost, if you have a 2-cost Captain Diabetes and a 2-cost Heidi, if you play Diabetes and then Heidi, it's almost identical stats to Terrence and Phillip, except they do a little bit more damage because they attack quite quicker, so they have more DPS overall. But the health is very similar. Terrence and Phillip is basically 2 Heidis. And you play both of them together. One, you're going to cycle through your cards quicker, so you're going to get back to Inuit. You're going to get back to to the cards that are more impactful. You know, gonna get back to Ice Sniper again, who's gonna be an incredibly important card to have out as often as you can. And then the Diabetes could potentially heal damage that it takes, or take more damage, or do more damage, or whatever with his ability. So I think it's a no-brainer. Also, you know, a double stack Diabetes could survive Satan, whereas Terrence and Phillip is fucked to Satan. The only benefit, Terrence and Phillip kind of works with the critters, but I don't think that's a big enough benefit, because so does the Diabetes Boy, because Diabetes Boy can use his ability, critters can kill it, and then you get the boosted stats from him. So you get almost maximum what critters can do in one pull from the Diabetes. I think maximum health, but I think it works. What's up, Jay? What's up? But yeah, I like the Diabetes, just and the cheapness of it, you know, like even if Terrence and Phillip is maybe the better card, you want the cheaper card. Like it would have to be it would have to be very, very obvious that the Terrence and Phillip is better. Like for instance, if it was Sizzler versus Diabetes, then maybe we could have a conversation about whether or not it's worth that extra energy, right? Sizzler, one of the best cards in the game right now. Probably a better choice than Diabetes, especially considering Sizzler kind of directly counters the Diabetes. Sizzler plus, even if Diabetes was stacked to his gills, if you use a Sizzler stun on him while he has the hanky, he doesn't have time to get it off, so he's not going to be double stacked anymore. And that stun is probably long enough to just kill him outright. And if it's not enough, then you can freeze ray him, or you can Inuit him at the same time, do more damage, or you can hit him with the Professor Chaos and stun him again. So yeah, Mr. Diabetes, very good. Santa, Hanky, and Diabetes is a nasty combo. Yeah, but I don't think it's worth it enough to just have the worst tank. Like, Santa in general is just a worse card, because Santa's knockback on an assassin in Team Wars, Santa could knock back Hanky, knock him up top, and then that Hanky could take a bar. Like, it would have to just be super, super worth it. And when like, if Diabetes goes crazy, he might just get Inuited, or he might just get fucking Unholy Combusted or something, you know? So it just might not be worth it. He's probably gonna get frozen and stunned and shit, so I don't think critters I don't think Diabetes is gonna be he's gonna be a threat, but he's not gonna be a threat because of the Santa. I think there's too much that would kind of make that combo worthless, and if you don't get that combo off, you're set with the worst cards of the option. So I mean, could that work? For sure. Is it worth it? I mean, it's like that guy Robin tweaked Dougie. Like, if he would have done that with 20 seconds left on the game, you know, he might have won, but he did it with 2 minutes left. So if you get a really good Santa Diabetes combo, you could win a game, or it could fail miserably and you lose that game. Is it worth it? When you're going 50 people have to win 3 games, you need 150 wins. And you're picking based on like one combo that likely won't happen the way you think it will, right? It won't happen the way you want it to. I think honestly, if there weren't the stuns that there are, if it wasn't Professor Chaos, Ice Sniper, Freeze Ray, you know, if there wasn't that available, and Osimo as well, if there wasn't that available, I would probably say, yeah, you're right. The Diabetes Santa is probably the way to go, because it's really hard to beat, and like Santa versus Osimo, not that big of a difference. But I like that stun. Like, I feel like that stun's gonna be really important, especially when you can pair it with other stuns. You can pair it with maybe what the fuck's his name? Dark Mage Craig. You could use the Dark Mage Craig to even further lower their damage. I mean, that could be really impactful. If you use the Dark Mage Craig on a push with Osimo, they're stunned for part of the battle, then they're lower attack for part of the battle, and then you could freeze ray them if you really need to, or you know, Ice Sniper's there to freeze them. So you can just combo that stuff, and it could work really well. But you could also, you know, you could do similar to with Santa and Ice Sniper too. So I think too many people would be ready for that combo. You know what I mean? Because that's something you surprise them with, you know? If you're playing in ladder, you surprise them with a Santa Diabetes Hanky combo. They're not ready for it. You know, they just removed your Sizzler or something. And all of a sudden, your Diabetes has 800 extra attack, you know? That could be pretty good, for sure. Tattooed, I appreciate that sub earlier, by the way. 17 months, a Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you do have Amazon Gaming, Prime Gaming, whatever they call it, Twitch Prime, you guys can check that out through that link. Connect your Amazon account to Twitch and get all sorts of rewards for your favorite games, as well as free games every month. We play some of those on stream every once in a while, too. All right, so let's get done with this, and let's look at the weekly update. All right. So, as you know, we have the updates every other week now. So this week we do have 2 weeks of events. Actually, we only have 1 week. There's only one weekly time to. Oh, there it is. It just didn't. It wasn't loaded yet. All right, so let's take a look. We'll go through this. The biggest stuff will be at the end for the balance changes and stuff, but we'll see how it goes. So let's zoom this in a little bit. So we have the draft mission today and Tuesday draft tokens. So it's 2 different daily events. We will be playing that draft tokens tomorrow. We'll probably focus it on Moody and the Adventure Lock, probably stuff that actually needs tokens and stuff, or needs mats and stuff. Then we have Medicine Woman Sharon mission event. Medicine Woman Sharon, useful card to have leveled, so definitely I think this is a good event to use. And then Member Berries, levels of Member Berry doesn't really matter that much, but I'm curious kind of see people play the Member Berries and how they kind of feel right now. I haven't seen Member Berries out in the wild in a while. It's much more difficult to get crazy value out of them, but it is still very possible. So we'll see what kind of decks people put together for that. And then there's Tournament Chaos Mode, which is the one where everything kind of, you know, normal leveled 6, 5, 4, 3. And that's about it. The card usage event. What is this? The fuck is that? The censored? The fuck is that? Is that a new card? What? Oh, that's Coon. I'm stupid. That's Coon. That's Coon. They censored Coon. Oh, that's fucked in. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Anyway, Member Berries, Gizmo Ike. I think they separate Ike too, because I think Ike is censored too, because it's like too close to Kike probably. That's so funny. Human Kite. I mean, he could be the human Kike too. All right, the Amazingly Randy, General Disarray. So definitely just superhero galore this week. So that'll be an interesting, some interesting choices. The Censored, dude, what a great card. All right, so this is the second week. So this is for the week after next. So we're gonna have Cyborg Tower, which is a tower that's gonna be very similar to the Arrow Tower, but it's actually gonna have a charge ability. It's gonna be 4 cost. I don't know the stats of it. If you check out, the, there's probably gonna be some content creator videos for this, and in that they'll probably have the stats for it. I'd be curious how long it stays out there. With the other changes that they've made to the other towers, you can imagine that it'd probably stay out there less time than, you know, it maybe would have in the past. But when you can triple the attack speed for 8 seconds, that makes me feel like the tower is going to probably last for at least 30, 45. So it'll probably be roughly, or I bet it'll be in between how long the Tower Defender and the Arrow Tower last. Since it's 4 cost, the other one's 5, the other one's 3. It'll probably be in the middle for stats, and it'll be in the middle for how long it lasts. And then when you use the ability for 8 seconds, its attack speed will triple. So if it's on defense, you use that when they're coming at you, and you fucking bust it up. That, pretty good. The charge only affects the tower, so it's not like it charges other people or something like that. I think that would be interesting if it had like a slight AoE where anything around him would get boosted too. But that with, coupled with Mackie plus New Kid could be incredibly broken. I would say Cyber Tower right now boosted with a BHK potentially could be incredibly dangerous. I mean, I guess you could, like, if they really had a big push coming, I guess you could ninja the Cyber Tower. But I think just overall it'll just be a pretty good defensive unit. I'll be interested its range. You could put it, midline and see how far it hits as far as an offensive unit. But yeah, it'll be interesting. That's the only one left, right? Is the Mystic Tower. I would assume it's gonna have some sort of heal. It's gonna be some sort of healing totem or healing tower, or an AoE heal around the tower, or whatever it might be. That's really the only thing that makes sense. But maybe they consider staff to be the tower, and so they're not gonna get one. I don't know. We'll see. I'd love other. Since everything's getting a tower, I'd love everything to get a staff. I'd love. So I've already thought about this actually. So, Adventure would get a either like an Arrow Storm sort of tower where it's just gonna every so often it's gonna trigger an ability, or it would be some sort of like unit boost where while this is out there, every unit gets a boost. Maybe it's a small boost, but every unit will get a boost. For fantasy, it would be a cock magic staff where you play it, and every X amount of time it will turn a random unit on the field into a cock. So you play it, maybe it's 6 cost, but you play it, and after 10 seconds it'll turn a unit into a cock, and then after another 10 seconds it'll turn a unit into a cock, and then after another 10 seconds it'll turn a unit into a cock, and then that's it. It's 30 seconds long, right? So you could potentially get 3 things turned into cocks. And depending on, how their push is set up, you could, really wipe out a push. But, obviously they'd probably make it so it turns like the whole field into a cock every 5 seconds. And then for Mystic, it would be a heal, like just an aura heal, probably without an attacker, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure what I do for Mystic. But then for sci-fi, the tower would be like a freeze tower, where, or like I'd love one to be like a defensive staff or like a freeze staff, where like there's like a defensive element to it, where maybe you can put the freeze tower in front of your new kid, and if somebody hits it, they get frozen. So it's like an actually defensive unit where if it gets hit, it'll freeze the attacker. So it doesn't have an attack other than just take damage, freeze the units, maybe, help your push defend. So maybe it's a 3-cost staff that has, 600 health or something like that at competitive level. But every time it gets hit, it freezes that unit. So if there's an assassin that hits it, probably only gets 1 hit off. If there's a fighter that's hitting it, they're getting frozen every time they hit for 100 damage. So it's gonna last for a while. So I think that's interesting. Well, no, they wouldn't have energy tower. It wouldn't be energy. It would be other stuff. But yeah, they wouldn't get another staff. They would get a tower. All right, so then the next week, obviously we're going to have a tower event, so definitely get that. The Tower Chaos, I assume the tower cards will just be cheaper. Then Ned Monday, Tuesday, probably going to be the most important event that week other than the new one. The new one obviously are important. You want to get the new cards so you can start getting them. Start requesting them, whatever. But the Ned, a lot of people have Ned level 4. So Ned getting to level 5 is going to be really impactful someday for Team Wars. Even level 4 is completely competitive though, so like it's not even that big of a difference. But that extra level 5 boost can be really impactful. His DPS is really good. He's just a good unit overall. Then when you compare him with Jimbo, it just gets brutal. It gets brutal. So that should be an interesting card. I think it really depends on how long it stays out there and how long its attack range is. I assume it's going to be similar to the other ones, so we'll see. The 8-second attack boost, you get something like Gunslinger out on it, then you have 8 seconds of Gunslinger plus the 8-second. That's just. If you use what if like Astro hit it and then what if you use Hyperdrive and then use the ability? I just feel like tripling attack speed is going to be like the animation's not going to be able to keep up. All right. Here we go. War Hero Ned will be the focus of a 2-day. So here's some change in Chaos mode. Okay, hold on. Characters with charged powers also have increased attack power. Okay, so that one's interesting. And then the tower characters, the sci-fi tower will be added to your deck. And then characters with charged powers will have increased attack power. That's cool. All right, and New Kid is 14. So they're changing challenge mode to match Team Wars at level 14. So that's interesting. To boost all new kids to level 14 while in chaos mode. Okay, that's interesting. That probably makes more sense. Should really be 18, but what do you think about this change? Are you excited for it to remain powered up in the future? I don't. That's not that big of a deal, but yeah, that's good. I think it'll make it so that, honestly, what that'll make it is just there'll be more draws because people will be able to hold out a little bit longer. But I think that matches the levels of challenge mode better, so I like that. Another chaos mode change is that we're mixing up the rewards. We're going to have copies of our new tower up for grabs in the following tiers. Interesting. Yeah, new kid level should be 18, probably 16 at least. They should rate. Cock Magic Staff's gonna be the best. Yeah, I like that one. That's a good idea. I don't know how you implement that though to be good. I don't really understand. I think what I would have it do is like when it triggers, there has to be an ally unit on the field or else it doesn't trigger. So you could pair it really well with Coop probably, but like you couldn't just play it and then just like not play units and wipe out their field, right? You'd have to be playing units that you're kind of sacrificing. I think that needs to be something that Cock Magic changes. Cock Magic needs to have like a setting where you can't use it if you don't have X amount of units on the field or something like that. Like if the enemy has 4 units, you have to have at least 2, or if the enemy has 6 units, you have to have at least 3 or whatever, some dumb rule, or at least 1. Like at least make me have 1 fucking unit out there. And 1 targetable unit, so not even staff, you know what I mean? Not the tower, not the something that actually matters. So something that makes Cock Magic, you really have to use it with cocks. And then maybe add like a 1-cost Coop, like a 1-cost cock unit, a 1-cost fantasy unit that's just a cock that you can use, to maybe take the hit of 1 assassin or whatever it might be. What's up, DC Bulldog? Too hard to program for them? That's probably true, yeah. Yeah. But so this is interesting. Another chaos mode change is that we're mixing up the rewards. We're going to have copies of our new tower up for grabs in the following tiers. So if you get to tier 3, you get 1 copy. Tier 6, you get 2 copies. 9th, 3 copies. 12th, 6 copies. The question is that, can I grind and get that over and over again? Because that's 50 cash for 6 copies. Well, I guess 12 copies. That's 50 cash for 12 copies. That's a bonkers amount when you compare it to like the fact that you'd buy 12 of them for $7 or something like that, which would be the equivalent of like 600 cash, not 50. So obviously you have to get that 12th tier. But me personally, I haven't not gotten 12 wins in challenge mode in a long time. I don't play challenge mode very often, mind you, but when I play, I get 12 wins. I played the last challenge mode, the one where it was the sped up, or it was the one where the attack range of superheroes was higher, but but all sci-fi cards were cheaper. So the meta deck ended up being Pope's Scuzzlebutt and then just all cheap sci-fi cards. And I ended up getting like 13th place in the world on one of my accounts. Another account was like top 50. Another account was top 100. I did it to grind out Battle Pass because it's super fucking easy to get 3 bars against challenge mode scrubs when you're matching up against like a 2,000 rank or something like that. But so for me to get 12 wins is quite easy. It's just a matter of the time it takes to do so. So if you're getting 12 copies, but it's taking you, let's say you lose once or twice. Let's say you lose twice. So you have 14 matches. They could be 3 minutes per. I mean, on average, they're probably 2 minutes on average. But then you have to add like, a minute and a half between modes. Add a minute, to open the pack and matchmaking and all that kind of shit, menu, all that type of stuff. So you're probably at 3 minutes. So it takes an hour to run through 12 wins anyway, right? And you could potentially not get the 12 wins. I don't get it every single time, but it's pretty rare where I don't get 12 wins. Make it a 1-cost card and make it a giant cock. I don't hate that. What's up, Mark? I do think there should be a 1-cost unit in the game, though. Hamsters is as close as you can get. And there's part of me that doesn't want them to do this because it's lazy. But in other games that I play, like Champion Strike, they have just like the same units, just like in different setups, right? So you'll have like a 2-cost Blade Rabbit that is 3 Blade Rabbits, or they're like melee units, right? And then you'll have a 3-cost Musket Rabbit, which is the range rabbits, right? But then you'll also have the Rabbit Musketeers, where there's 2, where it's a group of 2 rangers and 3 melees, right? But those are 3-cost, so it's technically a better deal to play that one. But it's 3 energy versus 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, whatever. Or I think they're both the other ones are both 2. So it's like a toss up. Do I play this one card with 2 or do I play this other one for 3? And it's this. They have that same kind of thing. They'll have Gangster Squad, or they'll have the Gangster Unit, which is a 3-cost range card, or they'll have Gangster Squad, which is a 5-cost range card, which just plays 2 of them right next to each other. So it's technically getting 6-cost units for 5, but you have to have 5 costs to play it initially. So you have to have that investment, and it plays them right next to each other so they can get fireballed or whatever potentially. So it'd be interesting to see something like that. They kind of do that with the Coop and the Leanne and the different ways that the cocks can come out, or like rats can come with catapult or with the unit. So, but it would be interesting if you had. Maybe you had a 3-cost rat swarm that's 4, or you could have, like, instead of hamsters, they could have done rat squad, or instead of rat swarm? Instead of rat swarm, they could have done rat duo or something like that, and then it's just like 1 cost for 2 rats or something like that. Like just something like slightly different. Or maybe, there's Pigeon Gang and then there's Pigeon Horde where it's 8 energy, but there's fucking like 12 pigeons or something like that. You know what I mean? It's all Spanish to me. Yeah, no problem, man. We're going over the South Park Phone Destroyer weekly update from the developers. We actually have balance changes and some other things, so we're just going through that. They recently changed their setup here, so I'm really curious if this is like a one-time thing, or you'll always get those for those tiers. If you always get those, then that means it's going to be conducive to you to grind this chaos mode. And I don't really hate this, because this is very similar to what they did with the epics and stuff like that in like events and stuff like that, where it used to be all of it was random. It was always random. Maybe they'd have like the guaranteed legend every once in a while, but it was always random what you got. So you didn't really know like if you wanted to play or not. But now you have the events where you can pick which decks you do, so that's good for you if you want to like specialize. And then also you can have now, if you have challenge mode, where if I win I'm gonna get Belfs, or if I win I'm gonna get Gizmo, or if I win I'm gonna get Scuzzlebutt, or whatever it is. It could be something that I need. Maybe it's the one card I don't have level 5 yet, or the one card I don't have level 6 or 4, whatever the level your account is. Maybe that's the one card that you want to get upgraded because it works with your deck really well. Whatever the situation is, nobody wants to have to play this game for all the events anymore. Like, the game's too old for that. Most of us have been playing it for so long. A lot of us are too casual for that. So the fact that they've changed it where it's like, this Leanne event, like up here, I can decide I'm going to play this Ned event because I want to get the 2 copies of Ned. I don't care about Witch Garrison, really, so I'm not going to play the Witch Garrison mission events because, one, it doesn't matter to me if my Witch Garrison is level 7 because that's really the only benefit I would get. And 2, mission events are a real pain in my ass. And then the Cyborg thing, obviously we want to get the Cyborg tower, right? So it gives you a benefit. And then with challenge mode, obviously, like, if it's a challenge mode you don't like, don't play it. But now it's like, if it's a card I want for that challenge mode, I grind that challenge mode. So that's probably going to get them, more income on challenge mode overall. But I mean, I really hate that because, that's going to, I don't love it when people can just dump time into the game and truly get a benefit. Like, if you just dump time into the game now, you're getting lockers, you're getting PvP packs. Like, you're not, like, you're gaining an advantage to an extent, but like, you're not getting like a huge advantage because you can't specialize at all. You can't choose what you get at all. But if you go to a chaos mode and you can dump on a Wednesday, Thursday, which are days that I cannot play very much, right? If it was or if it was Saturday, Sunday, I could grind all fucking day really if I wanted to. But if it's Wednesday, Thursday, which is fucking, the middle of the fucking weekday, I can't, grind challenge mode all night. So for those who can, they're going to have an advantage. They're going to get Cyborg Tower up to level 4 or 5, or mind you, 6, sooner than anybody else. Get an advantage in Team Wars, get an advantage in ladder if it's a really strong card. I mean, just look what they did to the Castle Defender. It's probably, might be the best card in the game right now because of what you can do with it with Cock Magic. Yeah, I agree, Outcast. I agree. I completely agree. They'll definitely grind. I mean, why wouldn't they grind? Like, there's people... What's up, Meow? There's people who do nothing but play this game. Of course they're going to grind for the new card. So the question will be, is this a one-time thing? Or is it a in perpetuity thing? I assume it will be always. I assume it'll be always. So... you can just grind and grind and grind. A lot of other games, what they do with this like challenge mode type thing is that it would be much more difficult for one. So like when you're at 12 wins, you're going to match up somebody, or if you're at 11 wins, you're going to only match up somebody who's at 11 wins. It's going to be difficult like that. But then the rewards are really good. Like, we're talking a legendary card at the 12th tier, but you can only get those once. You can only get them once. So if you go in and you get tier 3 and you go in again and you get tier 4, you're only getting the tier 4 because you already got tier 3. So if you go in and you get to tier 9 and then you go again and you get to tier 6, that tier 6 run, you get nothing. You get nothing. But if you get to tier 9 and then the next run you get to tier 12, well, then you get tier 10, 11, 12. But then that's it. The problem with that, I would say, is that would mean that there's a limited amount of gameplay then, because right now you can play challenge mode forever. There are people that do play challenge mode. There are some people who only play challenge mode. That's the only time they really play the game a lot. And they couldn't get me to play challenge mode for free legendaries. Yeah, it's really, that's why I don't like this, because like I don't like playing challenge mode and feeling like I might have to start grinding challenge mode to keep up on new cards. I don't love that. But like I said, I like the idea of like telling us, like specializing what we'll get so that we can know when we want to focus or not. It's like in other games, I do this in other games. Like for South Park, I kind of play no matter what, sort of, right? Because like this is what I stream, this is what I play. But for other games, I kind of pick and choose, like this, I'll have 6 other games like this. and I'll pick 3 of them one month where I finish the battle pass and pay for the battle pass. 3 of them I don't. I just do the casual one. Maybe I'll get halfway through it or whatever. I don't really focus on that. And then maybe the next month I'll flop it, because it'll depend on what's in that battle pass. If this battle pass has something that's super cool and unique and it's only in this battle pass, I'm going to focus on that game. If this battle pass is just a normal one that's just like the same shit over and over again, I'm not really going to focus on that. It doesn't really incentivize me to play that one, because it's like all it's giving me is more cards, whereas this one's giving me, maybe it's a emote that you can't get anywhere else or something like that. Just like this tiny little incentive to want to do it. So the biggest problem with that would be there'd be less people playing, because right now you can play forever. There's going to be a lot of people playing. You're not going to have to wait that long for a game. If you got your 12 wins and then you're done, that means there's going to be less people playing, because once you get your 12 wins, you're done. There's not going to be people still grinding it. So yeah. And although like in my I ran 3 runs, 3 of them got 12 wins, 2 of them had 1 loss. So I went 36-2 with that deck. 36-2. Crazy. If you're eager to add to edition your chaos earned copies, yeah. So it's only 100 points. So not bad. I mean, it's a little higher than the 80 that's sometimes there, but not too bad. All right, so now some important talk. We have the balance change. You haven't ever played challenge mode? I mean, really, challenge mode is just getting the right deck. Like, if you don't have the right deck, you're going to get your ass kicked. If you have the right deck, you're probably going to win most games. You might run up against somebody who's running the same deck that does it better, but after you see somebody play it better, you're going to understand, oh, I get it. I see. And then you're just going to, or maybe they have like a couple cards different. You're like, okay, let me try that. But yeah, I think it's definitely accessible now, because you don't have to have levels or anything like that. All right, but balance changes. They're interesting. All right, let's start with Mecha. We're giving him an adjustment by boosting the time between his attacks and making some changes to both his DPS, well, naturally that'll lower, and his overall health. So time between attacks is going up by 0.4 seconds, so it's a 13% increase in time between attacks, which translates to an 11% decrease in DPS. That, I think, in my head, I'm thinking, is that going to make the double shot more apparent or less apparent? Because, like, there's less chances to double shot, technically. But then when you do double shot, it's going to be, instead of taking 3.1 seconds, it's taking 3.5 seconds away. So that's, like, even worse, right? So I'm not sure how that'll play out. But I think what that'll do is that'll kind of just lower the impact of something like a Ninja play with the mecha. It's so easy to put a mecha back there, keep him alive, and then Ninja comes out, and then mecha is just hitting like a truck. So I kind of like this. The Mecha Timmy health decrease, negative 20 health decrease. I mean, really all this is it's a boost to the cards that hurt range cards. It's not necessarily a nerf to Timmy, because Timmy could have 100 health total, and like you could his like value could still be there, right? He's still probably gonna get lightning bolted half the time. There's not a lot that's gonna matter, but like minus 20% health, like he's gonna die to Inkin now probably, if that math is right. He's gonna definitely die to Fireball at even level, which is awesome, because that's a great Team Wars thing where, previously it's like you can only kill the Timmy with Fireball if it's level 3. Now you could probably always kill the Timmy with Fireball. If you take 20% of his health at level 6, he goes below 700, right? Yeah, he's got to. Not equal level Fireball. A mecha, like a level 5 mecha, doesn't die to level 6 Fireball. It's close, but he doesn't. Murph. So yeah, I think mecha. I mean, general disarray. This is a huge buff to general disarray, because mecha is probably one of the few units, or one of the few cards that disarray gets played versus. Mecha, Call Girl, Medusa are probably the 2-3 biggest cards that disarray gets played against. And now disarray is gonna eat the Mecha Timmy up in like 1 to 2 hits, and then start blasting New Kid. and it takes him even longer to get the hit off now because he's slowed, so that 3.45 is now 7 or whatever it would be. So yeah, that's an interesting... I mean, I don't hate that, but in my head, like, I haven't really felt like Mecha Timmy's been causing me that much problems lately. Although I will say that sometimes, like, you'll lead Mecha Timmy and I'll just be like I just won't have anything to play without feeding you big value, you know? So I can see that. Me personally, I would have changed his ability up a little bit. Shorten the ability a little bit at all levels, because it goes up. If you don't know this, the mode actually goes up, or the time that you're mind controlled goes up with level, and at the higher levels, at like level 5 and 6, you're mind controlled for pretty fucking long, and that could be brutal. Like, you mind control an Inuit and it runs all the way back to New Kid and hits it, right? It can be really tough. It's definitely not as bad as when it was fucking global, though. That's for damn sure. All right, now this is the one that I think is really going to be interesting here. Big Mesquite Murph is going to be able to stun tower cards, which is good with all the towers coming out. So that's good. Murph really counters the Cyborg tower if he's on it, right? Because that speed boost isn't going to matter as much. But increasing his health 25%. I mean, God, I don't know if you guys have used Murph very much, but Murph is already pretty beefy. Murph already survives pretty long, especially when he's getting attacked 1v1 against somebody that he's stunning. Like, that really lowers their DPS. So when you add an extra 25% health to Big Mesquite Murph, all of a sudden Big Mesquite Murph, when he gets on to New Kid, he's got an extra 600 health than he normally did. That's a problem. You add a Ninja in there, you add Gunslinger in there. I mean, I was having so much fun with Gunslinger Murph on the Adventure Lock the other day. I mean, 25% increase in health. That is just bonkers, man. That is just bonkers. Challenge mode's about playing early with a good deck or waiting for the meta deck and playing then. Yeah, I played my games. I think it had to have been the second day. And I used a deck I used like the clearly meta deck, and like I said, I went 36-2. So it usually previously what I do is I jump in on a first run, don't really care about this run, just see what the meta is, and then you know, handle on my next run. But now I can just like fucking ask somebody in Discord or something, and they'll be like, oh yeah, it's this right now. But yeah, Murph's gonna be good. Like, he's gonna be a Team Wars pick for sure now. Did he stun New Kid before? And will he stun New Kid now? Yeah, Tattoo. Yeah, they were targets for the ability, but his on-hit stun didn't work. Yeah. You're correct in that. Okay, it did. All right, and then the other change is Scuzzlebutt. This one, I mean, fuck. Like, this is crazy. So he's going down from 7 to 6. Why? I don't know. I mean, like now they don't have any 7-cost cards. Well, I guess Manbear Pig still, but it's still such a mistake for like the fact that they don't have like an 8 or 9 cost card. It's just a testament to their poor designing, right? Most other games like this have at least one 8 cost card. Not a lot have 9 or 10. I will say that. Or the equivalent, you know, which would be like, you know, 80% of your max energy, whatever it might be. Not a lot have 8 or 9. Or 9 or 10. Most have 8. Minion Masters has a couple that are 10. Champion Strike doesn't have any that are 10 or 9. It has one that's 8. War Alliance has 2 that are 8. But those have crazy amounts of health. So it's like it's worth that 8 energy, you know? And you can't just remove it, right? I'm not going to play an 8 energy card if you can just unholy combust it. Scuzzlebutt change will be interesting. Yeah, so Scuzzlebutt, sorry, I need to keep going. So its energy cost is down by 1. You know, it just makes it a little bit easier to play without Pope. That's probably okay. Now it targets 3 people instead of 1. It's still random, but it'll be 3 instead of 1. And they're not this is what I don't understand. They're not changing what that power is. So it's increasing to 3 people, but it's still the same amount, which is a pretty good amount of health. So now, and they're circumventing that by lowering Skullzabut's health. Like, that's just so silly to me. But anyway, so the power now hits 3 people. So you could have critters and CKI out there, and Scuzzles could get them both, unkillable. I mean, and then his health is going down by 20% roughly. Although it says like 1,200 to 1,000, but that's like, isn't that exactly 20%? Oh no, never mind. It's 20% of 1,000, but yeah, whatever. So 17%. That's whatever. Like, honestly, in some situations, the less health he has, the better. But man, I mean, in a swarm deck now, I mean, you get a cock and a gnome, and I don't know, like Shield Maiden or something. Like, you get them with the ability, and that's actually really good. It could hit nobody. 200% increase in HP on the 300 units. No, they're just saying that from 1 to 3 is technically a 200% increase. The ability itself, like the ability numbers, seem like they're going to be the same, which I don't know that on the top of my head, but it's hundreds of health. Like, it's not 100 health. It's not 200 health. I'm pretty sure it's 300-400 health. Plus, they can't get removed then, so it can really pair well with, and it makes it just easier to pull off, because if I'm trying to get it on critters, like, I have to have only critters out there pretty much for it to pull off. But now I don't have to be quite as deliberate about my placement and stuff, which is, honestly, I think they should make cards harder to use, not easier, but that's my prerogative. You're glad to see a never played card potentially become meta? I mean, that's good to an extent. Like, there's kind of 2 fields of thought in games like this, and different games do it very differently. And South Park is kind of in the middle, where they'll change cards drastically, but they only change a few at a time. Champion Strike, when they make updates, which is it's every quarter basically, when they make updates, it's like they're changing a card by 1.5% health, or they're changing something by 2% health, or they're changing something by like 0.4 degree. Like, it's a tiny little amount of change, because their game is pretty fucking balanced. And do you want to know why it's really balanced? Because they don't have new fucking cards ever. There's been 5 new cards in the 3 years I've played it. Like, and I have all of them max level. Like, that game is ridiculous. Like, the South Park is just so much better for longevity. Like, the way, as much as I hate some of the decisions they've made, the basic gameplay loop and event loop and structure of everything, it's way better than every other game. Like, it's just so much better than every other game. I can't stress enough that challenge mode being, quite different than normal mode. There being the normal mode, which is quite different at every stage of the game, really. And then they're having Team Wars, which is something, completely unique to any other game. No other game has anything like Team Wars. They have like alliance battles and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, that's just like, you're just like playing the normal game, and you just get points for doing it. You're not actually going up against the enemy team. Tactical Monster Rumble Arena does something like that, where you're actually going up against the enemy team's like defensive units, and you're actually like, picking them out and trying to like work with your team to figure out how to beat them and stuff. But it's not real time like South Park is, right? Does Scuzzlebut's Death Wish defend off power binds? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think so. I think it specifically says damaging spells. So you could still technically purify a boost on them, I bet. I bet you could still power bind them. You can still heal them, right? So it doesn't prevent your own spells from hitting them. So they're not spell immune. They're damage spell immune, I believe. I could be wrong in that. Because if you think about that, that would technically mean they should be able to be transmogged still. But they can't. So I'm not really sure. I know Michael's shield is specifically damage spells, Because you can still freeze them, I think. Pretty sure you can still freeze them. That might be wrong. I'd have to check that. I know you can hyper boot drive them though, right? You can heal them. You can do all sorts of stuff like that. So you can impact them positively, which means you could probably purify them, because technically purify is a positive impact, because your purify is more about removing debuffs than removing buffs mostly. It says harmful spells. Okay, so maybe, I don't know. Power bind's interesting. Maybe they can't be frozen or power binded then. We'd have to check that. I really don't know, because why would you try it? Like, why would you even try it? Like, it's more likely than not gonna work, right? But yeah, I would say that's a good one to throw into friendly fight and try it out. It'll be much easier to test when Scuzzlebutt hits 3 people. What's max 6 Scuzzlebutt HP boost? Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, that'd be good to know, because we need to understand how impactful that'll be. I mean, like, to me, that's a lot, because it's gonna be like 1,200 extra health no matter what. Like, no matter fucking what. All right, Scuzzlebutt. All right, Scuzzlebutt stats. At max 6, he has 4,972 health. So if you take 4,972, it's 17%, right? So it'll be 845. So he'll still have 4,000 fucking health at level 6. And his attack is 116, which is still pretty good. So the attack, oh, it actually doesn't say. It doesn't have that stat. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Max HP gain. So you said it's 476? Yeah, 476, it goes up to 509 at the level. So once you upgrade it, it must go up to 509. And then at the next level of max 6, so somewhere in between there, it goes up to 573, yeah, just like he was saying. So 573 times 3, holy shit. And we're talking 1,719 extra health. Jesus. I thought it was only 400. Not almost 600 on 3 people. I mean, dude, play call girl, dude. Dude, the only way to stop this combo is cock magic. You play call girl, you get Coon, you play Scuzzlebutt with them. They're going to last long enough where you can get 7. You play Scuzzlebutt in front of them, take all the damage. Call Girl is beating the shit out of people behind 4,000 health. When he dies, guess who else you just spawned? Mintberry Crunch. So now you have a Mintberry Crunch in the corner with 500 extra health. You can't Inkin him. You can't Psalm Blast him. You can't Satan Blast him. You can't fucking Cock Magic him now. You can't remove him. Unless you Cock Magic the Scuzzlebutt push before Scuzzle dies. And if it's not fucking, oh my god, if it's not Mintberry Crunch and you don't have enough energy for that 4 energy, you put Diabetes back there. All of a sudden, Diabetes has 2,000 health on his first fucking charge. Oh my god. My Scuzzlebutt's only level 4. Yeah, if you don't you're gonna have to run. You're gonna have to run fantasy and transmog or Leanne, you know, stuff like that. Holy fuck, dude. I don't think I've ever been more afraid of a balance change. Like this, the tower change I knew was going to be a nightmare. You know, I knew that tower change was going to be a nightmare. But now guess what they can do? Now they can play the tower, play the Scuzzlebutt, and then after Scuzzlebutt dies, they can still cock magic because they can't cock magic their own units then. Oh my god, it's a mobile goth kid push that'll be always protected from fucking... You could use Scuzzlebutt with goth kids. You wouldn't even need Michael anymore. So play critters and eat them before transmog. Shit. Oh no. And you could play 2 units right after it and they would get the boost too. Fuck me. Yeah, Michael is the best card for sure. That's true. The only reason I don't do Goth... I have Henrietta's level 5. The only reason I don't play him more often is because my Michael is level 5. Like, especially with, like, Memberberry Scuzzlebutt might become the best deck in the world. It's going to have to be... You're going to have to go... If you really want to compete with these decks, you're going to have to go heavy removal fantasy. What else pairs well with it? I'd say fantasy just in general. You could probably do anything else. I would say probably I guess probably adventure. With the Som damage and Incan damage, maybe the only way to clear shit out. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Also, apparently you could play Alchemist Scott with diabetes. Didn't know that. So now they fixed that. Oh, and Malcolmist will already be in general circulation in 2 weeks, so that's actually a pretty fucking quick turnaround. Luckily, Fantasy's half your main. Rogue token to clear. Maybe if he had a ×3 damage ability or something. That'd be interesting. What if here's a way to remake here's a way to remake Rogue. If he hits more than X amount of units, let's say if he hits, what's a decent amount for his AoE? What's a good amount? Let's say if he hits 3 or more units, or 4 or more, probably 3 or more. If he hits 3 or more units, he does more damage. What do you think about that? So if you hit 2 cocks and Berry Crunch, you're going to kill them all because you're going to double your damage or something like that. Make them actually worth a damn. Anyway. That's been my PSA for Rogue Token. All right. Let's look at this. Hey, Ubi Toller. The last update was locked the day after you posted it. I did try to get it unlocked via posting in the forum. However, I just received a fob off. What does fob off mean? What does fob mean? Can you please feedback again that these should not be locked? Posting this quick before this one gets locked. Yeah, I noticed that there's only like 3 posts and it was locked. Hey Toller, are there new card rewards in Chaos Mode a one-time grab, or can you get them multiple times every time you reset? This guy's asking the good questions. This guy's asking the right questions. I think you should... Oh yeah, mark in full effect. What if it's just like... If you hit 1 unit, it's ×1. If you hit 2 units, it's ×1.2. If you hit 3 units, it's ×1.4. Or maybe just be 1.5. So it's like 1 unit, 1. 2 units, 1.5. 3 units, 2. 4 units, right? So you could really do some damage. That I would love to know the answer to that. My guess is, based on how it is and based on how challenge mode works, you're going to be able to get them as many times as you want. And because it's only 12 total, if it was like 15 alone in the final one, I'd say like maybe you could probably only get it once. But since you can get it over and over, I think it's good. All right, I think you should adjust Satan again. I encountered him nearly every battle, and he's way overpowered. It's kind of not right that he can nuke your whole team and continue to tank the whole fight. I mean, yes, of course, Satan is always considered a problem. I would say, I mean, as much as I hate it, I do like that it, Satan's existence kind of impacts some really, really broken ass counter, or some broken ass things that can happen, like just like general fantasy sci-fi spam, like 2-cost spam, like that just generally is going to win matches unless you have stuff like Satan available, because you're always going to be able to overrun the enemy unless they have something that can clear out a bunch of units at once, and there's just nothing else that really quite does that. I agree, though. The biggest thing here is that I don't think he should be able to then continue to tank the whole fight. So I think he should be much more squishy after he comes out. And maybe he has something like the first half of his damage, he takes less damage, but then after that he takes more damage or something like that. So it's like he dies faster overall, but he doesn't die like instantly. You know what I mean? But if he just, like I said, you can put an Inuit out there, remove the push, die to the Inuit, and it's no big deal, right? So I mean, I don't hate Satan. I don't like that he's there, but like Satan's one of the things that makes sense. Like a high cost card that you can remove with Unholy, you can snipe it. That's a card that does something. You know what I mean? Like it has technical counters. You can just not play cards into Satan like value, right? You can just not do that. But there's direct ways to play against that, right? So it's not as bad as something like just Cock Magic, Unholy, Transmog. Like I think those 3 spells are a poison to the game because they impact so much the type of unit that they can create. Where Satan impacts things to an extent where it's like, maybe there can't be as much of a spam meta, but that's probably for a good thing. What's up, Plain Molasses? I love me some molasses cookie, man. My grandma used to make some. They were just the best. You can't snipe Cock Magic. Exactly. You can't snipe Cock Magic. You can't stop Transmog. Literally, you cannot stop Transmog. You can technically stop Unholy if you fucking get a shield on it or something. You know what I mean? Like you can technically stop that, but it's just not like when you can put Cock Magic, or when you can put Coop out, or you can put a staff out, or a tower out now and just sit there until they play energy and then play Cock Magic. Like there's nothing fun about that. There's no way to counter something. It's bad. It's a bad way. It's a bad thing for the game. Most everything else has a counter. Leanne is incredible removal power. She can remove 15 energy by herself, but you can transmog her. You can kill her with Medusa. You can kill her with an enemy, with your own Leanne. You can do all sorts of stuff that prevents her from using her value. You can imp tweak her away from the units. You could future Randy your units away from her. You can do all sorts of stuff. So not that big of a deal. Satan, potential workarounds. Like it's not a big of a deal. But when you're talking about shit that is unstoppable, literally unstoppable. Think about a goth kid push that has critters behind it. Almost borderline unstoppable. If it feels bad to lose to it, it is bad. It is bad. Like there's sometimes when I lose and I'm like shaking my head like fucking right on, dude. You double duggied me. Like I didn't have anything in my deck to deal with it. He double duggied me with some drow shenanigans. Good for him. Good for him. I could have countered it if I had a better deck. I just didn't. It's not a broken fucking thing, right? But if you fucking lead staff and then cock magic my push and then Leanne and then transmog and then fucking like you're a loser. You're a fucking loser. You suck at the game and you draw your way to events every day. I bet you Team Wars takes you an hour because you draw 15 times. But yeah, it's just like there's some stuff that's just not fun. And the biggest thing I would say is that there's just not enough counters to these things. In other games, like there might be really strong cards, but there's cards that like directly counter those cards, you know? And in this game, they don't really do that. I mean, they try to an extent. Like Future Randy is a clear counter to something like Member Berries, right? But it's tough. It's tough. They don't make a lot of good decisions, guys. More balance change, but no Pirate Randy. She's by far the worst than the other Wendy's. Is she the worst Wendy? What are the other Wendy's? Shield Maiden, definitely the best Wendy. Captain Wendy. Ice Sniper Wendy. Angel Wendy. And then what's the other one? What's Fantasy Wendy? Oh, she's Shield Maiden. Am I missing one? Call Girl, right? Call Girl. Ooh, Call Girl might be. No, Shield Maiden's better than Call Girl. Call Girl's second. Pirate Ship Wendy's probably third as far as ladder goes. If you're talking about Team Wars, Angel Wendy's probably the best. Because Angel Wendy in Team Wars is a fucking revolution. Like, she's incredible. The heal is so good. When you don't have to worry about her getting fireballed or removed and shit like that, she's so good. When you don't have to worry about like an Incan Blast or something. Yeah, Shield Maiden definitely the best. Shield Maid in Wendy. Happy dude, are you fucking talking with text to speech? Yeah, if they lose to Nicole when she's in an event. Yeah, if they have a Nicole deck, whatever. And they get a good one and I can't stop it, good for them. Talk to text, yeah, that's really funny. Made in Wendy. Shield made in Wendy. Oh, that makes me laugh. Anyway, but no, Captain Wendy I think is definitely not the worst Wendy. But I agree, she could use a touch up just because the other Wendys have been buffed and she never got touched. Like Ice Sniper got buffed crazily and Captain Wendy never got touched. I would say to change Wendy, I would say give her ability a little bit more damage, just a little bit more damage to be able to one shot like level 5 Mysterion, level 5 Inuit, stuff like that. Because right now she doesn't quite kill all the assassins. One of the best plays for Captain Wendy is to just chill and chill with the ability, so that if they use if you have a take in front, Wendy's behind, just don't use the ability until they use like an assassin or something like that. Use the ability, kill the assassin. Like, that's incredible value. Or wait till it gets on to New Kid, which is full damage to the New Kid, which can be incredibly good. I would say Captain Wendy, a little bit more damage on that and then a little more health, and then she should be fine. I don't think she needs more attack because her ability kind of is her attack, really. And she doesn't get hit by New Kid, so she can be pretty dangerous there too. But yeah, I think Captain Wendy's good, honestly. But I wouldn't mind her getting buffed, yeah. Mecha Timmy was used without any complaint, but now it gets changed. I mean, people definitely complained about Mecha Timmy. Like, it's a difficult card to remove. If you don't have Lightning Bolt, you have to eat 1 energy with Transmog or Unholy most of the time. It's a hard card to deal with. I get people, but I just don't think this is the way to do it. Like, less health and more, like, don't do that. Change him in an impactful way more than just like it's not his stats. It's not Mecha Timmy's stats that make him difficult to deal with. It was the fact that his range is very long, so you can keep him away. He's slow, and his ability lets you, like, even if you have somebody coming towards him, his ability, even if you have somebody attacking him, you can use his ability push him out of the way, and then you can put fucking Zen between him or something like that, and then all of a sudden your mecha's alive for another 3,000 health. So double his movement speed. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the kind of stuff that you would need to do. Like impact the stuff that's actually impactful on him. Because as of right now, if you increase his fucking attack speed, he's still gonna double shot. So it's not, his attack speed doesn't matter, and his ability is still what's impactful. Most of the time, I don't want him to attack anyway. So now it just makes it more like it's like makes it clearer when I need to use the ability, because there's no reason for me to try to DPS with him. Before, maybe it was a question like, should I use the ability? Should I just keep blasting him? Because he, Pope hits kind of hard. If you ninja Pope, he can really fuck shit up. But like, you're not trying to protect Pope Timmy. In reality, you want Pope Timmy to die, because if you don't cycle correctly with the Man Bear Pig or Scuzzle or whatever you're cycling with, you can't use that combo again. People don't have to be complaining about the card for them to know that it's an issue. Like if they look at the stats and Mecha's at 80% play rate for everybody, like if you play sci-fi, you have Mecha Timmy in your deck. Like that's not a problem. You don't think that's a problem? I've never played a sci-fi deck without Mecha Timmy in the deck. I don't think ever. Maybe in an event where like Lightning Bolt was a fucking option and he just constantly got removed or something like that. Maybe in a situation like that. But even when General Disarray is a choice, I still go Mecha, because even if Disarray kills him once or twice, the value you can get from Mecha is just so good. Good Mecha value from the ability can change a match for sure. Like stealing an ability or something like that, like it's the swing that you can get from that is so big, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't stop it. Like you can kind of stop it with positioning and stuff like that, but if you're already on their side of the field, there's nothing you can do about it. He has full control over when he uses the mecha, what he steals with it. It forces you to use your abilities in times you don't really want to. Yeah, exactly. That's why I like Mecha too. Like you usually use Mecha to try to get the Lightning Bolt so that he doesn't Lightning Bolt Mintberry Crunch or something, right? Or you use the Mecha, maybe you'll get an Unholy, so then he does an Unholy Sizzler or something like that. When you have removable, and that's what I hate about this fucking game, because you have to build your deck around removal. I fucking hate it. You don't build your deck around building a good deck. You build it around the current removal meta. I hate that. In other games, you're building a good deck with a good combo that you don't have to worry about, one or two cards just completely shitting on your combo. Or you do have to worry about that, but then you can just play around them. Like if there's one card, like an AoE range card that fucks me up, everybody has that card, but I have a spell that kills it. I just fucking make sure that I have that there so that I can kill him before he impacts my push, Same with if Mecha Timmy's always killing me, I can, be ready with the Lightning Bolt if I need to or whatever. Like Lightning Bolt is okay. Fireball is okay. Like that type of removal is fine. If it's a certain amount of damage at a certain amount of level that deals with certain cards. Like if there's a 5-cost AoE, just like Fireball in every other game I play pretty much. There's also a similar, like a lower cost, bigger AoE, but less damage. And that's like an Aerostorm kind of thing. So every game kind of has that same setup. But no fucking game has cards where you click a button and that card disappears. Nothing has that. At least like if it has a lot of health. Nothing has like 5,000 health, it disappears with the touch of a button. Nothing has that. A card like a monster tank that makes 3 units immune to removal. Yeah, but you can still transmog that card, right? Like you could still technically deal with it. But if you couldn't, like if you had just like that card and there wasn't any way to deal with it, there wasn't any way to kill him, then that card's incredible, right? Like if there wasn't removal, if there wasn't Cock Magic Unholy Transmog, Scuzzle's probably the best card in the game then. And if that was true, Grand Wizard Cartman would be probably the best card in the game. Man Bear Pig would probably be the best card in the game. There's a reason why those cards are rampant when in the arenas where you don't have removal yet. Because it's impossible to deal with a level 1 Man Bear Pig when you don't have removal and you have like equal level cards. It's just tough. Is UC okay? No, it's just too much value. Like when you compare it to Lightning Bolt, if it was a little bit more damage, like a little bit more, it would maybe be a little better. But like, I'll give you an example. So Champion Strike has the spell game down pretty well. Champion Strike has a 2-cost, small AoE, small damage, but it stuns. So that's just a tiny little thing. You can stun somebody, interrupt their ability or something like that, or you can clear out some swarm real quick. But it's very, very small range, right? Or there's a 3-cost that's much bigger range, still not that much attack, but that can deal with swarms and stuff like that. Then there's a 4-cost, which is like a fireball type of thing. It kills most of the range cards, but not all of them. Then there's a 5-cost card, but the 5-cost card, it does a lot of damage, but it does damage in like little rings. In like it does damage here, 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 and here. So like, in order to do all the damage, you have to have the unit perfectly in the overlap of those circles, right? So it makes it kind of difficult to get that value. There's a skill gap to get that value. Sure, it's 5 cost and it can do 1,300 damage or something like that, which is pretty good, but you have to hit them perfectly. And if they're on the move, it might be hard, right? And then they have a 6-cost spell that does a lot of damage. Like a lot of damage, but it's a beam and you play it and there's like a wind up. Like it puts it there. They show it's like the beam from Independence Day. Like it's coming. You have time to move out of the way. You have time to shield your unit. You have time to react to that amount of damage coming at you. You can't it doesn't just happen. You don't just click a button and it happens. That's what I'm trying to say. And then in World War Doe, they have one unit, they have one card that's kind of like Transmog. It's called Transmog Ray. It's called Transmogrify. But what it does is it turns the unit into a big purple mass that has the same amount of HP, so you still have to fucking kill it. It turns it into a big purple blob for 10 seconds or something like that. And if you don't kill it, it comes back. It still has lower health, but it comes back as the other unit. So if you can't just fucking use this spell on a card that's behind enemy lines and it's gone. You have to have a push there to deal with that card. So I can play a 9-cost card in that game because they have 9-cost cards, because you can't just fucking remove them. And if you play Transmo Ray on me, you gotta still get there to damage them. Right? You got to damage that thing still. So it's not just instantly gone. So that's kind of what I'm saying. There should be levels to it. Fireball, Lightning Bolt, Aerostorm, that is good. That is exactly how it should be. Unholy, if it was 5 cost, I would expect it to be like 2,000 damage maybe, would be something worth it. But then maybe it's delayed or something. Like Transmog would work as a card if it had a delay. And if that delay could be changed somehow. So let's say you put Transmog on a unit and it will kill them in 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, that unit is fucking dead. But maybe you could purify it. Maybe you can shield it. Maybe there's ways you could turn it off. Like maybe there's some other card that would counter it, Maybe Shaman Token would be the only card that could remove it, would be Shaman Token. Who knows? But there should be some difference. There's no difference to those. There's no difference to Transmog and Unholy, really. There's 2 or 3 cards now that are different. And obviously Transmog can deal with shields, but if Transmog can't go through Critter's shield, what's the point, Level 6 Unholy doesn't kill a max 6 Guzzle. It might after the... 5... Yeah, it should now. It should now. If not, it'll be very close. 1 shot or something will kill him, but yeah, I think that the difference is just that they could add a 10 cost card, and unless they add specific stuff like can't be removed or something like that, they can't do that, You like the idea that if you purify the rat from Transmog, yeah. Exactly, something like that. Something where it's actually you can impact it. The Transmo Ray, that would be perfect. What if it turns into a rat, but it still has the same amount of health? Like, it turns into a rat with no fucking attack, but it has the same amount of health. So if you transmog my Grand Wizard Cartman, you got to deal with a rat that has 1,000 health, but he has 20 attack. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. That would be fucking hilarious. You use like Grand Wizard Cartman, and then he gets turned into a rat, and then you got like Gunslinger or something like that, and you turn this rat with like 2,000 health into this just fucking monster. See, that's fun. Like if you lose to that, you wouldn't be mad. If you lose to Super Cock, you wouldn't be mad. Ninja the Rat too, yeah, like same for Cock Magic Cocks. Yeah, the cocks have the same amount of health. You can impact the attack because I think that's kind of the biggest part. Get rid of the attack. It's kind of like DSR. Like DSR, her biggest thing is the health, but you can use her for the attack too. Most people use DSR on a big target, 1 or 2 big targets. The true better way to use DSR in almost every situation is in the middle of a push, hitting a bunch of units. Even though they might not have a lot of health, you're impacting the DPS on that push. So they're not going to be able to push through you. You're going to be able to wipe through them. A giant rat, 1 cost card to go with the giant cock. Yeah, I want like a rat swarm kind of card too. Like a sewer drain or something like that. That maybe this could be one that you could play on the enemy side, because rats have much less health. If you could just spawn cocks next to New Kid, that would be trouble. Like you've seen that with Slave. Slave dies right next to New Kid. Those 3 cocks can take the bar if it's just New Kid, because New Kid can't fucking deal with it. But if you have a rat swarm, maybe you could put the sewer. A War Alliance has I play all these fucking games, guys. War Alliance has a card. It's like, you know those spider bunkers where it's like dug into the ground and you pop up and you blast them? It's like that. It's like grassy shit, and you can put it anywhere on the field. So you can put it back by their towers, and then your guys spawn up and they start blasting, right? Same idea with the rat thing, but that could just be so bad because like if I get Zen and your New Kid is attacking Zen, and I put the rat sewer behind your New Kid, and every time one of my rats spawns, it's starting to hit your New Kid immediately. That'd be great. Imagine transmog Grand Wizard to get a beefy rat, then you have to, well, yeah, yeah, and you have to lightning bolt it. Well, some people use cock magic, and then they have to use like, you know, Arrow Storm or something like that, or Fireball or something like that to deal with the cocks. That'd be the same thing. You have like 12 health left, and you cock magic the Grand Wizard. Be like, he's right next to your New Kid. He's about to use his ability. You transmog him, and then you have to lightning bolt the rat, or else he'll get. I think I lightning bolted a snake one time in Team Wars to stop him from getting a bar with like 5 seconds left, because Medusa turned somebody into a snake right at the end. All right, let's keep going. Last but not least, blah, blah, blah. Not having 2 of the same characters was nice back when. Now, though, this rule should be removed. The passive variety choices have really made this rule really stale in the game. I think I disagree, because without these limitations of the, you know, not being able to have multiple cards out, which I don't think is a problem at all. Like, I have double cards all the time. I really don't think it's impactful. When you look at most decks that will sit on a card like Satan or Cock Magic or something like that, they'll sit on that card forever, for the entire game. So they're already playing their deck 4-handed, right? They're already playing their deck 4-handed. So if you have 2 cards, you're not fucking... If you can't play this other Cartman because your other Cartman's out there, it's not typically going to hurt you, because you're already used to playing with only that first 4 slot anyway. So it's not really going to bother me. And compared to all the other games I play, it's overall better, yeah. How about a spawn of a weaker vacuum for sci-fi? Yeah, something like a Roomba. Like a Roomba. Yeah, I think everything should have, if everything has a tower, everything should have a staff, and then everything should have like a spawning thing. There should be coop spawn, there should be a sewer in neutral to spawn rats, or you could do like a chicken, like a pigeon coop. You could do like pigeon spawning. Wouldn't hate that. I would say you could have a confession booth on. You could have a confessions booth for Mystic that spawns choir boys. For adventure, you could spawn little Indians out of a teepee. For sci-fi, you could have like a Roomba, like a charging area, and then like Roombas get sent out of that or whatever. A Scout Ike coop. DSR and Dars step on each other's toes. Yeah. Some of them obviously yes. Like some of them are difficult. Some of them are easy. Like 2 stands, not that big of a deal. Double assassin, not that big of a deal. If they keep on with the towers, we should get rid of cock magic. Yeah, no shit. I can't wait for the team wars where they have all 4 towers as choices, and you can get all 4 of them. That's gonna be fucking poison, dude. Can you imagine just having all 4 of them down the line on midline? Dude, everything you do, you could just keep spamming units, and everything that they use in response would just get fucking lit up by your towers. But no, I would say the reason that I don't really care about it is, 1, it doesn't really impact me because the double cards, whatever. But it makes this one rule makes decks more unique. If this wasn't a rule, everybody would have, Mysterion and fucking Inuit or something like that. Like everybody would have these certain cards. Everybody would have double Timmy probably. Everybody would be running Stan of Many Moons and Stan the Great. Like everybody would be running these cards. If I could have Stan the Great and Stan of Many Moons out at the same time, if I could have BHK and Kyle the Drow Elves, like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Some of those cards are intentionally similar so that and you can't play them at the same time, so then you can't just get these insane stacks of these cards, right? You have if you play Ninja Kyle and Gunslinger and you're playing them at the same time, you get units that have 500 extra attack. Don't really like that. Bruh. Double red can be hard though, yeah. I agree. Like AQR, yeah, stuff like that can be difficult because you want to be able to play those when you need to play them. And those cards can kind of stay alive for a while too, right? Overall, this game and endgame are boring. Well, I mean, that's going to be true for any game like this. Like, it's just, at the end of the day, every game that's like this is it's just one game. Like, it's one game screen. It never changes. It's not, that's like saying, but that's good, right? The metrics never change, so you get to learn the game. That's like saying chess is boring. Is chess boring? Chess has been the same. They've never changed the rules. There's no balance changes in chess. They don't come back and they're like, guys, the fucking queen is too strong. The queen's way too strong. She can move anywhere? What? And those horses, 2 and over? No. They need to go 1 and over. They don't get 2 over. And then the pawns are weak. They need to get buffed. They need to be able to attack 2 things at once. It's like checkers. You remember checkers? If you take something with a pawn, you should be able to take the next thing with the pawn. That's the next meta of chess. They don't fucking change chess. And it still is exciting and incredibly strategic of a game as there ever possibly will be. This game is just live action chess. That's it. It's a combination of chess and rock, paper, scissors with the deck building part of it. That's it. That's what the game is. If you're expecting it to be fucking exciting, to be what? New and to change, like no. Chess needs a weekly update. The game seems to be on the path to nerf more than buff. Well, that's true. You typically want to nerf the better cards because typically there's less better cards than there are worse cards, if that makes sense. Like if you just create one card, you're like, oh, it's too good. You don't buff everything up to that fucking level. That's called power creep. That's how your games die. Nobody likes the newest shit to be the best in the game. Nobody likes that. but makes the card seem more generic than unique. I'm not sure what that means. Even Dogpoo got nerfed, so he would not stand out as being better versus cards with abilities. Dogpoo got nerfed because every single person playing up to like the 5K rank had Dogpoo in their deck. Every single person. And nobody had it at the top level, so nerfing him, it's not like it impacted anything. But yeah, I agree though. Like Dogpoo, Heidi, Sally, these cards with no ability should naturally have better stats. Doesn't really make sense why they wouldn't. Buffing cards nobody likes in hopes that we will like them. You mean like fucking Scuzzlebutt? You mean like the card that probably has the least amount of play in ladder? That card that they're boosting? You mean that one? Is that what you? Is that what you mean? Is that what you're talking about? Fucking, did you read the fucking rest of it, or did you get this and just stop reading? Wow, the Scuzzle buff is pretty much just nuts. Yep. Even though I have been requesting him and using him at 5, I would say thank you for the 6 energy cost, but targeting 3 units is ridiculous. Using his spell protection on woodland critters is crazy. Even a level 5 Scuzzle buff and level 4 critters about 8.5k mellow match. Now he can also buff Captain Diabetes, Shield Maiden, earn a set. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so easy to get value out there. I'm telling you, even though I'm using him, and I thank you for the buff, but I'm telling you this is going to get too crazy. Yeah. The reason I see you guys are buffing him like this is people killing the one target and his death wish goes to waste. After he becomes 6 energy, there will be more energy to play. Yeah, that's a good combo. Woodland, Diabetes, Shield Maiden. That would be a good one. That'd be a good one. You could put, instead of woodland critters, you could put CKI out there. That'd be really impactful. Then height, and then a Hanky would really fuck shit up with this push. Whoo. So where have these balance changes come from? Towers are making the game mundane, so another turns out. Well, I mean, clearly they're putting towers in for everything. Like, they're not going to stop. The nerf to Mecha Y gets removed, taken out by Disroy, and now it gets removed by more stuff. Pulled in by Imp, it's less of a threat to the overall game than Kyle the Drow Elves. Kyle the Drow Elves gets the same fucking treatment as fucking Mecha, if not more so. I'm more actually scared of Kyle the Drow Elves nowadays than Mecha, personally. Which is more OP than Human Kite was before he got nerfed, naturally. Drow Elves is global, so he will naturally have potential more impact than Human Kite does. Why is Manbear Pig Pope still not being fixed? Because you just remove the fucking Manbear Pig. I mean, it's kind of a bullshit deck, but like, you know it's coming. Like, if they're playing nothing but 2 and 3 or 2 cost cards, you know the fucking Pope Manbear Pig's coming. Are all the towers coming straight from the single player mode? So far, yeah. The Arrow Tower is there. The Castle Defender isn't quite there. I think there might be something kind of like it. I don't think there's nothing like that. And then the Cyborg, is there a Cyborg Tower? There might be a Cyborg Tower. I'd have to go back, and I haven't played those in literal years, so I don't have a great memory of what's there and what's not. Nothing better than using Drow's ability to screw over someone's Satan Warcry. Dude, I think my favorite thing is to use his ability on somebody who just got killed the Inuit and he doesn't die. That's the best shit. But yeah, shielding a fireball or something like that or a Satan is just so great. Also, with this Scott card, why is he deemed balanced when it nukes everything around him marked as end? Yet Frontier got nerfed 3 times because there's hitting things behind New Kid. I mean, maybe they'll change that. The difference, I would say, is in order for Scott to pull off his thing, he has to 1, be in attack range of it, 2, use the ability, 3, hit that unit after he used his ability. So there's 3 things that need to happen for what you said to happen, right? Frontier, all you have to do is put him out on the fucking field. And you think that's somehow comparable, you stupid fuck? Bunch of Harley riders in charge of balance changes. Straight nerf to Mecha. I don't. What? You don't have to nerf. If you nerf him, you don't have to fucking buff him somewhere else. That's the dumbest shit ever. That's the dumbest fucking thing they ever do. Oh, nerf him, make him 2 cost instead. It made him a better card, probably. Half the time they do this, it makes them better. Oh, Inkin, take half of his health away, but double his fucking attack? That was way better. He's a way better fucking card than he used to be. Call Girl, oh, make her get hit by New Kid, but increase her DPS. Way fucking better. I don't care if she's got 20 health. Her DPS being good is what the fucking problem was. So no, they don't need to fucking buff the cards they nerf. They need to fucking nerf them. Fuck. How come that tanky Medusa never gets touched? But you're fucking with a crippled? What? That's kind of funny. Medusa's kicking ass and you're fucking with a crippled Timmy? That's funny. Medusa attacks too slow for me to feel like she's really an impactful card. I mean, I haven't lost to a Medusa in quite some time. The difference is Scott also attacks every 10 seconds. Yeah, exactly. That's Scott attacking slowly, whereas I could have a boosted fucking Sizzler attacking an enemy Zen and killing everybody around him. I bet you guys can guess that was fucking Scott. Is there a possibility we get a legendary tower? Ooh, that'd be interesting. You can give a little love to my buddy Towley. Right now, there's no point in playing him. I'll agree to that. Towley's pretty bad. Towley's pretty shit. Make him better. Give him more health. Bigger AoE, maybe? Still no changes to superheroes. What would you change? Call Girl's DPS, that's for sure. Mintberry Crunch needs less health for what he does, in my opinion. Mintberry Crunch should be the absolute definition of a glass cannon. He's flying, he boosts other people's health, and he has a damage ability. Belf should kill him in 2 shots. Like, he should have no value. The fact that bitch survives equal level Inkin, or -1 Inkin, is bullshit. Anyway, also Mecha was fine. I hate playing against him, but I don't understand the need for nerf. Because you hate playing against him. That's the reason. That's the reason. There's probably enough people that have mentioned that. Thanks for keeping us posted, but right now I still play against 90% superhero decks because they are OP. I definitely don't see superhero that often anymore. So I have no idea where this guy's ranked. I wish that everybody would just put their rank in their fucking posts. Because, like, if this guy's at 8,500 and he's saying he's seen superhero decks all the time, I mean, I just don't see that. I'm not seeing that. So, I mean, lower ranks probably absolutely is nothing but superheroes because they're just easier to get to a point where they're impactful. Because Call Girl level 3 is good. Mysterion level 3 is good. Changeling level 3 can be good technically. You can't get away with level 3 Som and level 3 Inkin anymore, you know what I mean? Thank you for keeping blah, blah, blah. Nothing will change and the game will be boring until that is fixed. The game isn't any more boring, or like the game can't possibly be any more boring than it has been for the last 5 years because it's the same fucking game. The only thing boring about it is like draws from the fucking tower right now. Like that's true. That is boring. But at the same time, it's as most exciting as it's ever been as far as from like a competitive standpoint. Free-to-play whales beat Illuminati 6 weeks in a row now. We're on the way back to potentially claiming back the #1 spot. That's fucking drama-filled competitive goodness. That is just dripping with extreme competitiveness that is the type of shit that keeps people playing games like this. It's the only reason games like Champion Strike exist is because there's still a competitive tournament, like a tournament scene. The only reason games like World War Do exist is because people have their little communities. Without that, they die. Like Nano Legends was a game that I played. I don't think I ever played it on stream or made content for it, but I started playing it, had an interesting concept. When I played it though, I never played anything but bots, I'm pretty sure, because nobody fucking played that game. And there wasn't really anything about the game that made you want to play it, made you want to grind, made you talk to your team. It was just a bad setup. And so it stopped. It's no longer supported. So that game, I don't think I spent very much on it, maybe like $50 overall. But like it doesn't feel good, like the time I spent on it, you know? Like I had a pretty good deck. I had a couple max level cards, and I had a pretty good setup, but now it's wasted my time, right? So like I am, the only thing that I care about is the game not dying, and I don't think anything that they're doing right now is killing the game. I think the general consensus for a lot of people is just the natural flow of a game like this. They don't care about keeping the OG people here. They care about getting new people here, because the OG people will quit regardless of what they do. They'll quit and come back, quit and come back. There's nothing they can do to keep a person who's tired of the game here. There's nothing they can do. There's no amount of refreshes. There's no amount of freshness. The game has constantly new cards. The meta is constantly changing. Constantly. It's the most different game ever. It has the most cards. There's more cards in one theme of South Park than there is in all the options in Clash Royale. Don't feel good about being number one if you're manipulating the system. Who's manipulating the system? Fantasy overtook superhero? Yeah. Pope Manbear Pig is pretty common.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it's there. It's out there a lot. Fantasy overtook superhero. I would say it's most of the time it's fantasy superhero together, honestly. But just saying. Well, no, I mean, I think what Illuminati has done is more manipulating, VPNing everybody to EU to get easier matchups. Having draw agreements with like everybody that can potentially beat them. Like having like working with Chef's Elite to keep them out of the main bracket, so that Illuminati doesn't end up catching a third place every once in a while. I mean, you could, like, sure, we were 48 for a while to stay top, but that was because like the game was not in a good state. Now Team Wars is much better than it's ever been before. So it's the most competitive it's ever been. Beep, beep, beep. Because the thing is, less people play in EU. They have, and if you have draw agreements with the only 6 teams in EU that have players that could potentially beat you, then you're gonna naturally get a better score. And there's less whales in EU, so you're just naturally gonna run into less like level 5 legends to potentially just lose from levels, right? But did I see GOC try to draw with me? Dude, I swear to God, every time I play someone from Chefs, if I don't play a card, they won't play a card. Every single one of them is trying to get a draw every single time. Every single time. Even if they don't they don't know who the fuck I am, they're fucking strangers. But every single one of them will wait to play cards, because if you don't play a card, they'll draw with you. It's fucking pathetic. It's fucking pathetic, dude. Like I watch these Illuminati and Chefs people's videos. Like some of them stream it or some of them go live, and it's like you can just scroll through and it's like, oh, he's waiting 4 minutes for a draw again. Oh, he's waiting 4 minutes for a draw again. Like there's times when like this one guy I saw him, he matched up against somebody and it was just a team. It was just a good team. Like it was like Casa Bonitas or Mercenaries. It was just something. It was something where it's like this guy could be a good player. And the guy's like, please, like he's saying it under his breath. I don't know if he knew we could hear him or not, but he's just like, oh, please draw with me, please draw with me, please draw. He's just fucking begging this guy to draw with him, because he knows that he can't beat anybody that's worth a damn. Like whatever. At least everything we've ever done was in the parameters of the game. Good way to change that is draw gives a loss to both teams. No, I don't think that's good, because then like, no, what it should be is one easy fix, I would say, is make overtime as long as challenge overtimes. I am not waiting 5 minutes for a draw for anybody on any team. Any situation. No situation is that happening. I am not I am not going to wait 5 minutes for a draw. I'll wait 4 minutes. Most people won't wait 5 fucking minutes, right? So that would be an instant thing that would, I think, help. But yeah, maybe I don't like the idea of taking points away for a draw. But maybe like put that number somewhere. Like maybe somehow show how many draws they got, so that you can see, oh, Illuminati had, or Chef's Elites had, 150 wins, but they had 57 draws. You know what I mean? Overtime should be new kid slowly loses health. Yeah, I agree. There should never be a draw ever. It should be you lose health after when OT hits 0, health starts ticking away. I agree. If nobody ever hit anybody and you both go down perfectly even, then there can be a draw. That's the one fucking moment there can be a draw. But the chances of that neither person hit new kid even once, not likely. And then in ladder, if you do that, if nobody hits anybody and it's just a level 25 new kid versus a level 24 new kid, well, the level 25 new kid the new kid wins. Level 24 needs to fucking level up. Or maybe after the draw time, whoever has the least health left loses. Yeah, that's the same idea. The only difference would be that the letting it go and losing health would potentially give somebody the ability to break through that final defense. Like maybe I have 2 health left, but I have 5 units right at his fucking doorstep, right? Or 2 health would lose, but it's maybe I have 50 health left. It goes down 5 health per second, and maybe I have a chance. Draw counts as loss for both teams. I don't like that. Maybe a half a loss. What about half a loss? What if you get 2 draws and you get a loss? So that these people couldn't draw multiple times. They could draw once per account. And then if you take 2 losses, or maybe you just minus points. Maybe it's not a loss, but it's if you take 2 draws, you get minus 5 points. If you take 4 draws, you get minus 10 points. If you take 6 draws, you get minus 15 points or whatever it is. So you don't get hurt for 1 draw, which is very possible to get a legitimate draw. It's possible. I've gotten draws. It doesn't happen a lot, mind you, but I've gotten draws in Team Wars, mostly on the Adventure Lock deck, probably a dozen times, probably in 4 years of playing. It doesn't really happen that often. So I don't think you'd have to really worry about legitimate draws really impacting games too much. I mean, at that point, it would be as impactful as somebody disconnecting. If somebody disconnects, it's not their fault. They didn't necessarily lose, but you lose the points. So it could be very similar. You played well, you drew against 2 people, but you should have won, so you lost those points, right? But yeah, I think having a cushion where 1 draw is okay. Because 1 draw, I've never had 2 draws on 1 account before. I don't think that's ever fucking happened. Well, you know what? I think maybe 1 time on the Adventure Lock. But that's the Adventure Lock. I'm playing with base level cards. It's hard to fucking even win. So drawing is lucky, right? But yeah, it's just that's just dumb. But anyway. But everybody, it's fun because we're all, we were number 1 for so long. Legitimately, we were number 1 for years. And then, things changed. Illuminati started beating us. So we went down to preserve the number 1 spot, hoping that we could keep number 1 until they made a change. They made the change. I think they made the change 3 or 4 weeks after Illuminati had taken the first place. But now things are, much better than they've ever been in the past. The caps are much better than they've ever been in the past, so more teams have better decks, so you don't just like outwin people. Much more people are taking losses than the past. The reset really helped, although now it's back to being what it was before. I think they should reset again. They should reset like every 6 months maybe. If they reset in June and then reset in December again, I think that might end up working out. Unless they just change how the fucking crowns work. I hate that shit. I just remember the game win, lose, or draw existed. Win, lose, or draw. What game's that? But yeah, I think they could do something, but it's a hard thing to police because it could be a legitimate draw, right? But I mean, I think obviously they could do something like if no cards are played, but then you just play cards at the end. I don't know. It's a hard thing to police, and it's just like deranking. Like you can't really do anything about it unless you fundamentally change how draws work. And I think there'd be a lot of people who'd be upset that draws hurt your score. So I get it, but it's just kind of poison. What I would say is allow each team to select like 2 other teams that can be like alliance teams, and they won't match up against those people in Team Wars. I had a couple games like that where you could set up alliances with other clans, and you would actually like in game, you'd see like green for their names, and you would know that you're not supposed to fucking kill those people. This update went long. Like we went legitimately talking this whole time for we're on 3 hours here. Crazy. If no card is played in the first 30 seconds, it's a disconnect. Loss for both players. That's interesting. But the problem with that is like just like trying to fix deranking. Once they figure out what you did to prevent it, whether that's, just figuring it out by testing it, or whether that's, literally looking in the code a la Lucky Penguin, you'll figure out how to circumvent it, right? So if you know that I need to play a card, then it's not hard to just ping pong back and forth units in a way where you're not going to take a bar, right? So if I play Deckhand Butters in the corner, all my guy has to do is play Deckhand Butters on the same line, and they're just going to kill each other. So then all of a sudden, boom, we're not going to get disconnected. Bam, draws happen. So yes, that's an idea for sure. Like something similar to that. I like that idea. Like something where, what's up, 6 Shine Eye? Welcome in. Appreciate the follow. Welcome to the Glanzer Gaming Gang. We're doing the weekly update for South Park Phone Destroyer. We're going to be done here actually in a little bit. We're coming up on 3 hours. This one's going to take a while to upload. But it's been a fun one. We've been talking a lot. Talking a lot of trash. I got the slacker shirt on. But yeah, I would say maybe a draw does what if it takes 1 point away from you? What if you lose 1 point? 1 point. Right? That can't possibly impact teams, right? It wouldn't be a big deal. Teams would lose what? Maybe like 1 or 2 points because they get a couple legitimate draws. All of a sudden, Illuminati's losing by 200 fucking points. Chef's Elite is getting 3rd place because they're losing 250 points from draws. Hey, you coming from 6 Samurais? What's up, man? Oh, I recognize that name, Shine Eye 6. Yeah. What's up, man? You guys always have your names all goofy letters and shit, though. But yeah, I think, man, losing just 1 point for a draw would be interesting. You get 5 draws, you lose 5 points, you post a 113. You still like maybe at worst you lose 5 points. So like if you draw a bunch instead of a 114, you post like a 109, which would be similar to if you just win 3 1-bar wins because you're losing 6 at that point, so you get 108. 108's the lowest score you can get with 3 wins. Yeah, that'd be interesting. But I mean, most likely they're not really thinking about stuff like that. And if they really did truly understand the problems with Team Wars, and they just clearly do not, because the fix to me is just so simple. Make gold the top 50 teams or the top 100 teams or whatever. Just make it a finite amount of teams. Most every other fucking ranking setup does that. It goes, silver tier is 1,000 trophies. Gold tier is 2,000 trophies. Diamond tier is 3,000. Master tier is 4,000. Grandmaster tier is 5,000. And double Grandmaster tier is the top 50 fucking players. Fucking no matter how many points those fucking losers grind up to, those top 50 players are the top 50. So to break into that top 50, the metric is always changing. Some seasons it's going to be 9,000 points. Some seasons it's going to be 12,000 points. It just depends on how the top 50 are playing. So that's how it should be. You should need to break into the top group to be able to play at the top. Because the fact that these pissant teams with 30 fucking people on them that have been getting first place in Team Wars in perpetuity because there's nobody there that can possibly compete with them, they're getting the same fucking rewards as my team, as the top 5 teams in the world. They're getting the same fucking rewards scoring 2,000 points as we're getting scoring borderline 6,000. What the fuck? What? That doesn't make any sense. -5 first draw. That's too much. Too much. Way too much. You could get a legitimate draw and lose 5 points. Nah. But 1 point, then 3 points, then 5 points, then 12 points. Something like that maybe. Maybe like a Fibonacci sequence, not 5, 10, 15. Maybe not, 1, 3, 5, 7, something like that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Because it should impact you. Because like if you're getting draws, then you're not playing as well as someone who's not getting draws. So why would you get a better score than them or as good of a score as them? Makes sense to me. This game makes some dumb shit decisions. Yeah, they do. They really have made some dumb decisions. But it's like I was saying earlier, like that Champion Strike game makes nerfs like tiny bit, 2%, 3%. A game like World War Doe, when they made changes, the changes were like this long. Like it was a paragraph like this long, and it was almost every single card in the whole game changed, and they changed them like a 2-cost card became 7 cost, and it changed the how it worked, or like a card got 200% extra damage, or so. Like they changed shit so completely because their idea is, every time we make balance changes, we're completely flopping the meta on its head, and it's going to be almost a completely different game, right? I just think -5 is. I think the punishment for that first draw is too much, because you could get a legitimate draw and it's just too much. Because 5 points could definitely impact a legitimate bracket, and then this dumb rule impact a bracket. That's dumb. So other people fucking up the system impacts other teams that don't even know what's going on with that. Don't like that. But if it's 2 for the first one, the same points that you would lose if you get a 1-bar victory instead of a 3-bar victory, I think that's useful. Like, just like you forfeit, if you draw, you forfeit the bars you could have gotten from that game. That's kind of how it works. So if you draw that next game, even if you win it, you're not getting those extra 2 bars. Even if you get 3 bars, you're not getting that extra 2 points, because you got that 2 points was removed when you got a draw. I like that. But yeah, I just think it's dumb. It's dumb that drawing is an option. Like, that's full stop. They could fix it by just having New Kid tick down. Now, granted, like the same thing would happen because like they're the same level. If they don't do anything, New Kid will tick down. But what if New Kid ticked down a random amount? You know what I mean? Like, what if it wasn't a perfect 2 2 per second, it was like a variable 2 to 4 per second, up to an average of 3%. Like, always average to 3 per second. But the fact that like one guy's going down by 2 and then 4 and then 2 and then 3 and then 2 and then 4 and the other guy's going down 4, 4, 2, 2, 2, they'll just get to 0 at different times. So there will be a winner. One of them will win. And at that point, it will be random. If nobody does anything, it's a random who wins. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A little bit of randomization in a game that has a lot of fucking RNG. I don't think anybody would be mad at that. You know, they could potentially win a game that they would have normally lost or drawn out. I don't know. I just hate the idea of like having a legitimate draw impact somebody's run when they have no idea that other teams are drawing. You know what I mean? That's the part. Because like when we see like, oh, they're nerfing dog poo, it's like we just don't see the ranks where dog poo's good. Like dog poo might have been fucking one-shotting everything in the opposition at lower ranks. We don't know that. None of us are down there anymore. If you're on this stream watching me, you probably are in gold. Like you're probably in gold. And that kind of shit just doesn't matter. Dog poo doesn't get played unless it's in Team Wars. But anyway, Mexican new kids fastest tick. Yeah, it depends on your internet. But we'll see. I mean, it makes sense like within your team, you know, like Illuminati drawing with Illuminated, drawing with Illuminants, like whatever. But then Illuminati drawing with Anonymous Italia and Illuminati drawing with TMI and Illuminati drawing with every chef's team and Illuminati drawing with fucking Viva La Stoners. Like if they're drawing with every single other team that has good players. But how do you police that really, you know? Then you could add that alliance system, but then like those teams are like, you could just add those teams, right? I don't know. There's probably no real fixing it, but the best thing we can do is just, you know, make sure that people are aware of it. I mean, they're fucking dumb as shit and they do it on live streams and they do it in recordings and put it on YouTube and don't edit out those ones. I mean, they're dumb as rocks, man. And if Red Links actually cared, it would not be very hard to find these teams that are doing this and punish them. But let's take them an hour to do Team Wars. That's what I think, Matt. Like I know how long it takes me to do 5. And for somebody to be sitting there and take 2 to 3 draws, and if they have multiple accounts on top of that, But yeah, that's exactly like that guy had a Team Wars stream. It was just his main account, and it took him an hour and a half. Or just have sudden death go indefinitely till there's a winner. Would there be a winner? I mean, at that point, in certain decks, it could be whose phone dies first. I think that's kind of scary because like that could technically last forever. Like 2 good players could play this game back and forth forever. They really could. Just have a sudden death go infinitely till there's a winner eventually. I mean, that would, but really, like truly, if me and Mex went at it and we had equal levels, we could go back and forth for an entire fucking, like, for an hour. I don't like that. I like the slow tick of new kid health. I think that's fair, and I don't think there's anything unfair about that. I don't think there's any single moment where you could be upset about that, because for every moment where you lose because of that, there's going to be moments where you win because of that, right? I think the most interesting overtime experience is War Alliance, actually, because they have a 2-tower system, and you get points for killing the towers, right? So if you take 1 tower, you get 1 point. If you take 2 towers, you get 2 points. If you kill their person, you just win. So if you take 1 tower and they take 1 tower, it goes into overtime, but it's not a sudden death overtime. It's just an extra minute. So there's been games where I take a tower, they take a tower. It goes into overtime, and like right when I'm about to take the last tower, it goes into overtime. And I take that tower right at the beginning of overtime, which in South Park, it would have been the win. In Champion Strike, it would have been the win because it's sudden death. But in War Alliance, it's just an extra minute. And after I took down his tower, he counter-pushed into me, took my tower, and killed me. Because I just couldn't defend after that. So he took my tower and killed me, so he ended up winning. That one's interesting. But then if that last minute that gets added, if that goes to the end, even if we both took one other tower, it doesn't go to another draw. It doesn't go to another overtime. Then it is a true draw. So you can get a draw, but it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult. He'd create the Friar meta. That's so true, dude. Well, the damage would have to be... It would have to increase over time, so you couldn't just heal it, right? Because, yeah, you're right. Like, you could just put Friar next to your new kid, and you just heal all the damage. So it would have to, like, start at 1, then it does 2, then it does 3, then it does 4, then it does 5, then it does 6, then it does 7, then it does 8, then it does 9. Just tick, 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 until eventually it's doing 150 damage a tick or whatever. Yes, yeah, exactly. So that'd be crazy, man. That'd be crazy. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think the change to challenge mode is actually interesting. Increasing new kid in challenge mode means maybe they'll consider increasing new kid in Team Wars, which I think a level 14, or sorry, excuse me, it is level 14. Even level 16 new kid would be quite impactful, and it would really change the meta of Team Wars. But yeah, I got to get out of here. We're going out on 3 hours. Coming up on 3 hours of the weekly update. Can you believe that? I mean, that is just incredible. So we'll get this uploaded onto YouTube for all you guys who want to catch it. Maybe you didn't see the whole thing and you want to catch parts of it earlier. I appreciate you guys all being here. It's been a blast. 20 plus viewers the whole time. Appreciate you guys a lot. Thanks again for the subs and everything like that. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Everything, subscribe, like, subscribe. Everything that you can do to support the stream. Comments are actually important. They help get it out there. And then make sure everything else. Once overtime hits, poison drops on each new kid. Yeah, exactly. You could actually have a poison. Yeah. Well, actually, one interesting thing that happens in World War II, when it hits overtime, you hit overtime and you get like an extra 2 minutes or whatever, but something happens on the battlefield. Like in one situation, it'll just be like poison by your towers. So it'll poison by your towers, but not the middle. So it forces you into the middle to fight. And then another one, there's like an icy wind. So no matter where you are, you take damage. So this is like what we're talking about. No matter where you are, you take damage. So it's just like whoever has the most health, right? And then they have another one, and this depends on what arena you're in, right? So it actually impacts where you end up, what map you end up playing on. And there's one where it's just like randomly an alligator will pop up and do a fuck ton of damage. So for the last 2 minutes, you're running around trying to dodge this alligator. Otherwise, he'll kill you. Like, that kind of stuff is fun. Like, World War II is a fun game. That game is fun. It's not technically good. It has a lot of stuff wrong with it, but it is a fun as fuck game. You have a middle finger emote. Like, it's so much fun. You can tell people to get good, and the emotes are just so funny. There's one that's like, do you know who I am? Or like, don't quit your day job, which is hilarious to say to someone that you know is a streamer. Like, it's just so funny. That game is just classic. Maybe we'll play that more on stream now that I have a setup where I can actually play it through my phone, because that doesn't play very well on BlueStacks. Anyway, we're getting out of here. Arkansas guy doesn't care about us. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one, and good luck on your Team Wars games. Don't forget, in the description, there will be a link to the games from the last time this deck was an option, so you can get a little bit of a jump on it. Peace out, everybody. Jimmy, we're going to be playing Fall Guys soon, so be ready. All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye.